Yeah,
mine's
that
already.
happens. Yeah. Hello everybody and welcome to the RDTCC here for round 2 of season 11. We're here at Oulton Park for the second round with these lovely little Aussie racing cars, or the ARC Camaros as they're known in AMS language, so to speak. Should be a fascinating piece of racing. We're using the short circuit here, so going to be some very tight racing and very exciting. We already saw it at Adelaide. If you watched that, which if you didn't, by the way, do go back and watch it because it was a lot of fun, and especially race 2. There was some fantastic battling and also a certain safety car not realising how to pit entry, so a good bit of laughs there as well. But it was good fun, really good fun racing in both races, very close racing, and I certainly advise if you didn't watch it to go and give it a look on the Race Department YouTube. But not alone this time. Is more than just me going to be dragging you kicking and screaming through these 2 races. I have Dan Marr alongside me. Hello, Dan.
Oh, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever part of the day it is. At the moment, I don't know. I've not slept for weeks, but yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to sunny Oulton Park, which is always nice to say, my local circuit. So if Thomas can't remember the corner names, at least you've got me to pop up, eh?
Exactly. Now, I'm sure you'll be doing a lot, because I'm sure I'll probably figure out a corner name or two, as I've got an incessant revving in my ears. I think the game is just syncing up. Now, there we go. All right, finally synced up at a lovely revving ARC Camaro in my ear. But yeah, we should have a really nice set of races going on here. And I think, I don't know if it's you, Dan, but I think this is going to be interesting because it's almost going to be like a normal size circuit, isn't it, for these cars, because they're just so small. It's almost going to be like we're on a normal size circuit rather than the very thin and small circuit that Oulton Park really is.
Yeah, it sort of normalises, as you say. These are incredible. I'm looking at the pit entry now, and they're not much taller than the pit exit speed limiter board, which just says it all, really. But these ARC Camaros, they're fan favourites all over the world, and it's fantastic to see them in Automobilistas. We get underway for qualifying, and as you say, yeah, Oulton Park, very tight, very narrow, very bumpy, but these cars do brilliantly suit the circuit, so it's going to be very interesting 2 races tonight.
Yeah, indeed. And just while I'm here, hopefully once it loads, I'll give you a little update on the standings after the first round as loaded. So I'll give you a little update here while the drivers do their outlaps and get themselves sorted for their first qualifying laps of this session. In championship at the moment with the double wins, I believe it was last round out, Jamie Pryatt with the 100 points. I have to pronounce it right. Apologies, Jamie, if I get it wrong. It's my default. My default way of saying it is wrong, and I got to try and fight it. So apologies, Jamie, in advance. But he's leading championship on 100 points Then we have Tony Benelli. He's one of his APIA's fellow, not really teammates, because Tony is technically in the first APIA team, and Jamie's in second, if you want to get all technical on that. But Tony is in second, with Sean Allen and Chris Stacey equal on 98 points. We've got 2 points separating the top 4. So close at the top of the leaderboard. In P5 in the championship, you've got Brody Steen on 92 points. Matt Legale, as I think I was saying it wrong, so apologies to Matt on that one, and Steve, I'll get it right this round. He's on P6, equal with Sam Smith on 90 points. Pavel Koshkin is 8th on 87 points. Kevin Harris and Michael Steed round out your top 10 on 86 points apiece. And in the team championship, we have Race on Oz Motorsport leading on 190 points. Roaring Pipes Maniacs 6 points back on 184. Tin Shed Racing, they're in third on 174 points with LG Racing 166, and then rounding up top 5 with APIA just outside. By the way, they're in 6th in the team championships. They'll be hoping to reel a bit of that back in, which I think they might this time, because APIA 2 actually has 2 cars this time, because Ashley Cohen wasn't at round 1, but he's here for this one, which is good to see. P5 rounding out the top 5 in the teams is Redback Racing. So it's all so close, isn't it, Dan? After the first round of 2 races, especially at the top of the Drivers' Championship, 2 points between 4 drivers. That is just mental, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's incredibly good to see just how close it is. And these cars, it's difficult to get that slight edge in these kinds of performance balanced cars. They're very small, they're very light, they're very revvy. So you can just fling them into the corners and they just sort of grip. So it's going to be an interesting case tonight, especially around Oulton Park, which is a very challenging circuit. It might only be a couple of points at the top of the standings tonight, but if you make one mistake around there, even though they are half-an-hour races, if you make one little mistake, it can cost you quite a lot, and it is going to really set up the evening. As I'm just looking, coming down to Cascades and up towards the where the Hislop chicane would be, and already 4 or 5 drivers, including Pirates, who did go wide down there on his first flying lap, which I think 20-minute qualifying session, which isn't a lot of time. It's only a short lap, but nonetheless, any lap time you lose around here is one less lap to try and get ahead of people.
Yeah, indeed, exactly, yeah, and I saw that as well in the background here, just when flying at the left part of the circuit there, which we're not using, of course, in this layout. Oh wow, just watch, I think it was Brody Steen there using all the curb and some through the flying left-handed there as he headed towards Foster's. That was a lot of aggression from Brody there, but I guess, as you say, I mean, these cars, certainly they'll be being especially aggressive, I suspect, with the curves, because as you say, it's definitely a case of needing to use every inch of the circuit to get that time, because these things are just so balanced in terms of performance. You know, they are fast, don't get me wrong, certainly power to weight they are very good, and they have some pretty immense acceleration, but of course being so small with such a small engine, their top speed not quite up there, the acceleration, their handling is more where they excel, but because of the way they are, it's so close, and that's what's helping with the championship being so close, is that the advantage you can get is just so small, that you really need to just wring the neck of these things in qualifying and just nail, the perfect lap. And as you see there, Brody, very aggressive up, looked pretty nice as well, but still just under a 10th off Tony Benelli, who's currently on provisional pole position. It just shows how close it is. And then Sean Allen currently third, about a 10th off the pole. Chris Stacey, the series admin, is P4, going along very nicely for Roaring Pipes. Then you've got Kevin Harris, P5. Michael Steed, the second Roaring Pipes, in P6. Got to say, Roaring Pipes doing very well, as are Race on Oz, both of those two. Both cars up near the front of the field. Good to see for their team's championship bid. Sean Rogers in the Tin Shed. They're very uniquely painted, I'll say. Tin Shed racing cars, you can't miss them. He's in P7. I think he's just finishing a lap now, and he goes up. There you go, to P6 on a 106.654. Jeremy Talbot, he's in the Speedy Mite racing cars, currently P8 with Koshkin in 9 in the SR car. And then you've got Matt Legale, currently in P10 with the LG racing car. A little bit further off so far. He was up battling amongst the top 5 at Adelaide, and so far here at least, and his early parts of qualifying, he doesn't quite seem to have the pace that he did the first round. We'll see if that changes. There's still plenty of time to go here in qualifying.
Yes, exactly. It is, as you say. What the top? I'm currently looking. It's under a second covers the top 14, and that's with 2 or 3 qualifying laps in there so far. So as it gets further and further into the session, it is only going to get more and more competitive. It is only going to get better and better. And as you say, it's an interesting prospect with these cars. You have to use the curves, and of course, Auto Mobilista very nicely simulates what happens when you push the limit. You lock up your you actually flat spot your tyres, you get a horrible vibration, which in these tiny little things, it's only going to get worse and worse. And you've got 30-minute races to contend with over the course of the meeting. So you've got to try and manage your tyres respectfully whilst trying to push. And as you say, you have to push these cars through the corners as much as you can, because they're not the fastest things in a straight line, but because they are so close, so competitive, the drivers really do have to make the differences.
Yeah, for sure, exactly right. And I'm just noticing, good to see, because I know a couple of drivers I noticed didn't have their skins. They must have not got them in time for the first round, but they're here in the second round. I noticed Ian Silver, I don't think he had a skin in the first round from memory, but he's got one now, which is good. Nice, not bad delivery, I got to say, for him, for the Barbarian, as I've been calling him. Those of you who watched the first broadcast will know, and I will try and stick to it, because I want to have a little bit of a running theme, is Ian, the Barbarian, Silver, just because of the team name. Sorry, Ian, but team name kind of asked for it, so, so that's what I will do. But yeah, got a nice looking livery, which is good. Good to see, though. I think now, if not everyone, yeah, nearly everyone has a skin now, which is great to see. A couple of guys don't have a skin still, but most of the field does, which is good. It's a very, very pretty field, I have to say. And as I said in the first round, I think Race on Oz and or Apia are probably my picks at the moment for pretty skins. Although something about the Castrol liveries, the one that Matt's got especially, there's something about those older, Castrol liveries that I quite like. But yeah, I think my pick probably Race on Oz or Apia at the moment for me. Debate you down, but yeah, it's definitely very pretty good. I think we can definitely agree on that one, can't we?
Yes, it is. It's a very good looking field, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it on the start line for both of the races tonight, because I've sadly didn't get much of a chance to go and watch the first round of the season, but this is certainly a beautiful place to go racing. Oulton Park, very picturesque, set in a very natural sort of bowl environment, so a bit like Brands Hatch, where you can sit in certain parts of the course and watch a lot of the action. It's great, the circuit undulates, you've got the wonderful trees, the barriers, the Armco, everything. It's just a very atmospheric circuit. Also with the Sweet FX settings you now use with Automobilista, you can actually choose if you want a more natural, more vivid, more whatever types of graphics you want it to look like. But with these cars, with these skins, the series does look really good. It's very well organised, and it is a very good looking grid, and it's going to be great as they head through the first couple of corners in both races.
Indeed, and I just noticed Michael Steed there leaving the game, must have had a crash or something. In terms of game speak, which we will keep an eye on. Unfortunately, there has been some issues, those who've been unaware, with AMS on the online at the moment, where if someone joins, it can sometimes cause basically everyone else to crash, which is a issue that we are aware of, and hopefully it won't happen. It didn't happen at round one, kind of surprisingly, because we had Glenn Collins, I think it was, who left and rejoined about 3 times in the game. Didn't crash as Michael gets back in. Looks like for the moment it's all good, thank goodness. But yeah, just something that the drivers have been warned. They've been asked to try to not leave the server, just stay on, just obviously try and minimise any issues there. Hopefully that'll be all good. But as you say, then, I mean, we were saying before about how close it is, but look at it now. We've got pretty much a second between the top 15. But even more of note is that the top 8 are covered by under 4 tenths. That is just bonkers in how close that is. That is just, I think you can pretty much legitimately say there's not many other forms of racing which would have a field that close, would they, at this point?
No, definitely not. And can we just say the top 4 are covered by 1/10 of a second? That is incredible. You can't throw a blanket over these guys and separate them. It's still Tony Benelli at the top of the field, 1 minute 06.306, and it's then Michael Steed in second place, 106.393, so he's only 87 thousandths of a second behind, 3 thousandths ahead of Brody Steen as well. So the second and third is looking incredibly close, and even looking further down the field, it's just looking really good. The overall field so far is covered by 2.7 seconds, which might seem like a lot, but when we see the top 24 are covered by 1.8 seconds, that's not a lot of time around a short circuit like here. So come the race, it is certainly going to be one large train of cars trying to overtake, and it's going to be interesting to see how you react with driving and racing in traffic, because of course a lot of racing you conduct, a lot of testing you'll conduct is done solitary, maybe with the AI, but you never really know until you're racing side by side with humans online. You can never really anticipate the kind of traffic and how it's going to pan out. Oulton Park, as you say, might seem a little bit wider with these cars, but it still is a very tight, a very technical circuit. You undulate, you've got loads of bumps. The curbs can be quite vicious if you attack them just about wrong. So it's going to be an interesting one in terms of overtaking people. And with the half an hour race, you know, if you lose one position, you have to make that time back up. You've still got plenty of time to make the time up, but still, Legends Racing in the UK, certainly. I'm not sure whether how popular it is. Of course, the ARC cars are very popular in Australia, of course, but all over the world, these sorts of mini-scale racing cars on full racing circuits always provide fantastic racing, fantastically close racing, and it's often decided on the very last lap of the race, which is no mean feat when you look at some of the race distances these guys have to contend with.
Yeah, indeed, exactly, and you know, it's just going to be very interesting. As you say, it's a good point to bring up with the curbs, because I know there is a few places around here where the curbs are particularly vicious in normal car. So in these things, they'd be about probably
Flying.
2 or 3 times as bad. Because they're just so much smaller of a car, and they just get so much more of a reaction, you know, to any sort of undulation or rapid movement like that in suspension.
Yes.
So especially being so short wheelbase as well, isn't it? There's just not enough room there to really take the impact. You just feel every bit of it.
Yeah, and they turn really well because of the short wheelbase, but I have seen cars in recent weeks actually going over the barriers at Oulton Park, so it isn't unknown to happen. And this is in real life, so you know, in a racing game, you tend to push the limits a little bit harder than you might normally do so. So it's going to be certainly very interesting. These fantastically short wheelbase cars, the brilliant thing about them being so small is that, as you say, you just fling them anywhere. It's like the minis that we often race here at RaceDepartment and Automobilista as well, because they're not small cars, but they're still very short. So you can still sort of really push them hard, race them really aggressively, and get a good result out of them. So it's about trying to find the grip and the limit of the grip and the limit of the circuit and the limit of yourself around these conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just going to be a good race. I think it's already, I've got to say, I mean, it was close at Adelaide. Don't get me wrong, it was very, very close and very tight there. But I'm already noticing that already it's closer here. Like I know it's a bit of a shorter track, not much to be fair, slightly shorter length track than at Adelaide, or the version we were using. But already, look at this, it's now gone to the top 18 within a second of each other. The furthest off is Fabrice in P26 and he's only 2.7 seconds off, and that's the furthest away. But most are within a second, and the ones who aren't are only sort of just over a second off at this point. So it is bonkers how close it is right now. And as I said, Adelaide was close, but it wasn't this close with the whole field. So this is going to be, these races, I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised very nearly if we have, if not the whole field, then most of the field literally in one just massive pack fighting for position. It could be, it could be just very juicy, I think, this one, Dan.
It's going to be brilliant. It is going to be seriously close. The fantastic thing about Oulton Park is, as you say, it's not a case of Adelaide is a really good circuit. I absolutely adore the Adelaide circuit. But Oulton Park has a little bit more runoff, so you can push it a little bit more. And whilst getting onto the grass is not nice, there isn't a lot of gravel unless you go up to Knickerbrook, in which case there is some gravel trap there, there's some gravel trap up at Druids, but there's still grass where you can push it onto. And because they're quite easy to catch, in terms of if you make a little mistake, you can catch it quite easily. So you're more inclined to push the cars as hard as you can, and as you say, if you get it wrong, it's not too difficult to rectify, which does allow for more close racing when people are going to risk it a little bit more than you normally would.
Yeah, indeed, and it's interesting to notice. I'm just looking at a couple of movers from the first round. I'm not sure if maybe they've done some more laps, or maybe because it's Oulton they just enjoy the track more. But noticing a few shakers here. So one of them I'm seeing, Andrew Scott in the Bad Cat racing car. I think he was down near the back at Adelaide, but he's up in P15 right now. He's only 8/10 off pole, so got to give credit to Andrew here. I think he's done some very hardcore, he's done some good practice, really pumped in the laps for this round, and he's looking a lot stronger here at Oulton Park, so credit to Andrew on that. But at the moment, Sean Allen leading on a 106.305 by literally 1,000th of a second. Literally 1,000th of a second. That's not me lying to you. That is the legitimate gap at the moment.
Wow, no,
to Benelli. Yeah.
That is genuinely how close this racing is at the moment. 1,000th of a second. I don't know what...
Crazy.
That's going to be the racing equivalent of half an inch at the most. That is absolutely nothing. And the circuit's not that small. It's still around about 1.7, 1.8 miles. So that's a lot of distance to only be separated by an inch.
Yeah, this is crazy, absolutely mental. So, as I said, as we saw at Adelaide, as you watched it at the Adelaide broadcast and live stream, you know, it was extremely close racing there. We had some great battles, and just seeing the qualifying as well, we had some great, two great qualifying sessions that were very close indeed. But as I say, wasn't this close. So I don't know if everyone's just kind of stepped up the bar a bit. Maybe they're all just sort of stepped up practice and a bit more fighting them for this second round. Or again, as I said, maybe it's because it's Oulton. Maybe we've got a lot of Oulton fans in the field. Might well be the case. But yeah, either way, it is so close throughout the entire field right now. I'm just looking through, pretty much obviously a lot of people out on laps at the moment. We've got just over 3 minutes to go, getting to the back end of this session now. And the other thing I'm actually going to be interested to see, because I know it's a thing that can happen, because I remember when I raced here in a league race, I think maybe in the minis actually, in the mini challenge, and if you race anything around here you know of it, is that turn one is that the game, because I'm pretty, from what what has been said, Chris has said in the, how the series is going to be, with the track limits, it's basically going to be the game. So they're going to just let the game decide. To be fair, AMS has generally got pretty good track limits. Generally, the game's pretty, I think it's pretty fair and well-rounded in that regard, generally speaking. So it's leave to the game. But I think there is the option for people to protest if they want to. But as I said in the first broadcast, you know, I know these guys, a fair few of these guys, they all get along pretty well. The Aussie community in RD is a pretty tight-knit group. So I don't think many of them would bother doing that. But that turn one can be a little bit touchy. Can take quite a lot of curb. But there is a point where the game will ping you. And I think it's if you get 3 cuts, then it's a penalty with AMS. So the drivers are just going to have to be careful. As we can see here, with how close it is, we're going to have people racing very hard in the race, and it could be so easy just to slip a wheel just a little bit too far, and then suddenly get a cutting warning, and then, you know, within a blink of an eye, you've got a penalty for cutting. So it's going to be something to watch, I think, that turn one, to see if any drivers fall foul that during the races.
Yes, it's going to be quite interesting. As you say, Old Hall Corner is a very tricky corner to do at the best of times, and you've got to be careful as to not go over the curbing. Luckily, maybe some people say it's a little bit more lax than it would be in real life, because if you put all 4 wheels over the curbing onto the curbing, automatically it's a cut track penalty. So, but there are other places where you can push the track limits a little bit to try and gain the extra bit of time. Logs Corner, the final corner going through a Deer Leap, the curbing on the left hand side, you can push a little bit over that, which means you can go wider. Also Knickerbrook, trying to take the apex, you can try and nibble that as much as you can. There's a few places where you can try and push the circuit as much as you can, but of course you risk getting pings for it. So is it a trade-off for, well, I might lose my lap, I might get a cut track penalty if I push it here, but I'm going to gain a good little chunk of time? It's 50-50, isn't it? It's catch-22 in terms of, do you risk it and do you do it?
Yeah, exactly right. So it's going to be the interesting one thing to watch out for throughout both races and qualifying, because obviously if you get a cut track in game, then straight away your lap gets discounted by the game. So that's something to keep in mind for both these sessions as well. Speaking of qualifying, we are in the last 40 seconds of this first one, and we are just wrapping it up now. Looks like most of the drivers going around on their final laps. Just watching, I think Tony Benelli's just started what should be his final lap. I think we've got Brody Steen crossing line. Oh, wow, Brody gets in a monster of a lap, 106.105. Just watched him as he crossed the line. He's put in an absolutely beautiful lap. 20 seconds to go. He can still do another one as well. And as has been mentioned with these cars, the tyre wear isn't really there. The tyres, they generally hold on pretty well, so there's more than every chance he can go even quicker here as he locks up into Foster's there. Looks pretty smooth, a little bit of a waggle of the tail, not too bad though. I'm just watching for, I think Benelli is just coming around the back end of the circuit, as Steed isn't out, so he's done. Looks like Jeremy Talbot's done. Chris Stacey's still going as well, but let's have a look at Benelli here. He's in P3 currently, 2/10 off that monster lap by Steen there. He's just split open the field pretty much. Oh, as Benelli drifts it out of the final corner now, coming up across the line. No, he stopped. There we go. He must have been down, so that is a shame for Tony. He's going to have to settle for 3rd at best. Looks like Chris Stacey, he's on a lap now. He's just coming out of the final corner as well. Let's have a look here. He's still going. Can he improve? Currently P6, 3/10 off. No, he can't. So he stays in P5. So I think the only one really who could maybe better that is his teammate, is Sean Allen, Brody's teammate, as he gets
Quick
through
to
the final
sector 1.
corner.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
very
he's
quick to
looking.
sector 1.
Yeah, so this could be, can it be? It's looking already confirmed for 1-2 for them, and he does improve, but not enough to go pole. But the key of that, Race on Oz, lock out the front row. So I tell you what, Brody and Sean, they have pulled out 2 fantastic laps there at the end of the session.
They left it very late to do it, and they were seriously quick. Sean lost a bit of time coming through the second sector, but he was only about, what, 1/100th off his teammate in sector 3. He was quicker than his teammate in sector 1. So it was really good, a really good performance from Race on Oz Motorsport. Dominated the front row, and they've left everyone sort of ahead by 0.2 of a second, which is not a bad gap. But the racing, I suspect, is going to be a complete different story, and we will be going on to race 1 very shortly here.
Indeed, we'll just have this little warm-up session, so time for the drivers to warm up the cars, get in race fuel, get in the race mindset. I believe it should be a 10-minute warm-up from memory. It's 5 or 10, I'm pretty sure it's 10. And yeah, we will be going to the race soon. First of 2, of course. The first of 2 half-an-hour races, and it should be a fascinating evening of racing we have here. As I said, as we saw at Adelaide, it was very close there, but here at Oulton Park, it's even closer, if that's possible. And I think we are going to have, basically a train of just battling throughout the whole field. I really wouldn't be surprised if we get 20 cars fighting for position all the way down. I really wouldn't be surprised that close on pace. It is quite something. But we'll go through the whole field. I'll go through the top. Yeah, I'll go through the whole field. We'll go through the whole field of qualifying now before they start doing laps. So Brody Steen gets pole position for Race on Oz. Then you got Sean Allen, who got P2 there. Race on Oz locking out the front row very nicely indeed. Tony Benelli flying the flag for AP. Looking like they're a little bit of a mixed bag at the moment. AP, they're much stronger, much more consistent from what I saw at Adelaide. They're a little bit more all over the place so far, but when the field is so close, it's hardly surprising. That is the case. Michael Steed beats out Chris Stacey in there, the Warren Pripes Maniacs cars. He's P4. Jeremy Talbot, good performance from him. Speedmite Racing there in P5. Chris Stacey in P6 with Jamie Pyatt in P7. Sean Rogers in the first of the Tin Shed cars, P8 with Matt Legale in P9. Not quite as far up the field as he was at Adelaide. We'll see if that changes in race trim. Ashley Cohen in for the second round and into the top 10 in his first first qualifying session of the season. I think I should just leave the top 10 for the moment. We'll go through the rest of the field on the way through to the formation lap. But yeah, this is going to be, as we said, Dan, I think we've already sort of hit the nail on the head, haven't we? There's going to be very, very, very close in these 2 races, I think.
Yes, it's going to be fantastically close, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant. And, well, I just don't know what to say, because it's so uncertain as to how the racing is going to pan out. You're going to see that Old Hall Corner is going to be a very tight first corner. People might be a little bit cautious, but going around the entire circuit, there aren't a lot of overtaking places, I'd say. There aren't a lot of big stopping points. The biggest overtaking spots, I would suggest, are coming into Lodge, which is the final corner. Old Hall Corner is a bit tricky to overtake, but it can be done around the outside or indeed on the inside. Coming up towards the Foster's Corner itself, that's a very good big stopping point, but then you run the risk, you go too deep into there, you'll run wide, you can go onto the grass, you can lose a couple of positions, but you've got to bide your time around here. These are relatively long races, you've just got to be a bit patient about it, I suppose.
Yeah, indeed. I think that'll be the balancing act is, what's the right amount of aggression and the right amount of patience. You've got to try and balance that, I think, especially in races like this. In endurance racing, it's more, you want to be more patient, although some drivers don't have that mentality in endurance racing, but, each their own. But, in these races, I think it's definitely more of a balancing act of trying to get the right amount of aggression, right amount of patience, and knowing when the moment, so to speak, is to make a pass or that kind of thing. To me, I think the last corner and Foster's are going to be the 2 that I think will be the main overtaking points. Because as you say, turn 1 generally not the easiest to overtake, mostly because of its nature, because of the camber and the bump in the middle of it. It's it's generally hard enough when you're going through there on your own, let alone when you're trying to go through when you've got 2 cars there. I mean, obviously, if any cars can do it, it would be these things because they're so small. But even in these things, it's going to be very difficult to pass through there. But yeah, I think last corner and Foster's are going to be the 2 to watch for a passing chance. Probably the last corner, if anything, more than Foster's. It's going to just be very, very fascinating to watch all this play out. I didn't even know who to pick to win this, to be honest, because they're all that close. You can't pick a winner, can you? Because you could almost say half the field has the pace to win this.
Yes, they do. You can't really choose anything, especially until you get onto the last lap. It is just going to be tight. You don't know what's going to happen. You just have to wait and watch. That's not really helpful. I can fully appreciate that, but we're not here to be helpful. We're here to call the race. But we just, in all honesty, we just don't know. We're not lying to you when we said we don't know what's going to happen, because we just don't. And that's what the fantastic thing about these kinds of racing is just you have to guess and just try and risk it, I suppose, don't you?
Yeah, indeed, exactly right. So we'll see what is to come in the first of these two races, half-an-hour races once again, and we'll see how it pans out. I'm just thinking while we're waiting for the drivers to complete their warm-up races or warm-up laps. Apologies. I think we'll go on board. Why not? Why don't we try and go on board? I'm sure he'll pull in the pit lane because it'd be so fitting for him to pull in the pit lane. But I'm just looking at a Mr. Jamie Pyatt leading the championship right now. Thinking just going on board with him for that. We'll just sort of have a little bit of a look around this circuit in these cars. I know the camera angle's not too good, Joe, but if you can find one that fits, that'd be good. Oh, is he gonna? No, he's gonna do a practice start. Of course he is. Of course he is. Well, we can watch him do. We can watch him do a practice start. Why not? As you'll see, lining up here to just get into, make sure he gets the good launch, because the launch is going to be 90% of this, as we know, because it is so difficult to pass around here. This launch and getting it right is going to be half the trouble, as I'm noticing. I think is that people joining? I think it was. Yes, it was Steed and Harris rejoining in. Once again, the game holding on, which is good to see. The crashes we were fearing have not happened yet, thankfully. Looks like Jamie's taking his sweet time in taking a break start. I hoped he'd set off at this point. But yeah, it's going to be quite a fascinating one. And yeah, I think the start is going to be a very key factor here, isn't it? Because if you can get the track position, it's easy to defend. I think in this scenario, I feel like it's easy to defend than attack, isn't it, around here?
Yes, it's much easier to defend than it is to attack. But nonetheless, an aggressive driver can make a good move, and an aggressive driver can make mistakes. It is still very tight, very narrow. It's a very challenging circuit, Oulton Park. So you never really know. You just have to sort of, I wouldn't say risk it for a chocolate biscuit, but it's something along those lines. You just don't know what's going to happen, and until you try and make the move and realise, oh goodness, it's not going to work, as Benelli and Cowan there find out, coming through Foster's, I believe, they just sort of had a little bit of a collision. But it's things like that. Until you see the driver ahead of you going off and you think, well, I'm just a passenger here, we don't know what's going to happen. So do you risk it? Do you not? I wouldn't. Others will. That's why they're out there and I'm not. Let's put it like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we've got just under 4 minutes to go in warm-up. Then we'll head to the race. As we say, we've pretty much said all there is to be said about the build-up to this. It's just going to be very close. Who knows who's going to win it? Could be quite literally about 15 drivers who could. And it's all just going to depend on how, if anyone gets an instance, I think, in the first few laps. Because as we know, these are very small. Obviously harder to have an instance in a smaller car, but either way, I'm actually expecting, I won't be surprised, I'll be honest, if we have 3 or even 4 wide at some point. I really am expecting there just for that to happen, just because it makes sense to me with everyone being so close that there might be an occasion where that might happen. Would be quite crazy. I suspect the front straight's the only place where 4 wide could happen, but it may happen. And if that's the case, then I think there'd be a successful evening of racing in my mind if we get 4 wide and not everyone explodes, basically. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But for me, actually, one thing to watch, I'm going to be watching it because I know he's a pretty patient racer, and that's probably why he's leading the championship right now. Is Jamie Pyatt. He's not. I think he's, to me, from what I've seen of him and just racing with him and against him other series, he's generally very patient. He's generally doesn't do anything too crazy. He doesn't like to do those sort of really aggressive moves. He just plays it smart more than anything. He's just very consistent. That's his main thing I've noticed with him, is he's super consistent generally. And generally just plays it safe. Now, I see, like, he'll obviously go for a battle if it's there, but he won't do anything too crazy. And I think that's probably why he's leading at the moment, the championship, is that he's plays it smart. And I think that's why he got those good points results in the first round. So we'll see if he can do it again. But as we saw in qualifying, he's not right at the front. He's a bit further back in the field, kind of buried in the pack. So I'm going to be watching him to see if he can, come up the field and get those solid points once again to keep him in the lead of the championship. Keep in mind this chip point system, it's 1 point down, that's it. So it's only 1 point less for each position you are below, so it goes down by 1, not 5 or 10 like it is in most other series. So I think works very well here, because it does mean that as long as you finish, you're going to get points regardless. And because there's so little difference, it's so critical. Every position is huge in a championship scheme. So just over a minute and a half to go now until we end the warm-up and head to the race. Dan, any last words before we move on to the race?
I just don't know, in all honesty. You can't really predict these kinds of racing, though, can you? We see with the mini challenge, we see with these especially, that they're not simple to drive. Anything in most sim racing games are not simple to drive, because we like a challenge of sim racers. Well, at least I think I do. To be fair, I'm just slow, so I can just complain. But you don't really know how it's going to pan out until we get into racing, because, as I say, doing it over one lap is good, but doing it consistently over the course of the race with people to deal with sort of slightly different weather conditions, the track will start rubbering in a little bit more, which then brings a bit more grip, but it brings more confidence to everyone. So I suppose that's one thing completely. But it's going to be different, and it's going to be exciting to watch. Also, I think the pack, if you're in the pack, the fact you'll have a tow as well will be a little bit of a help as well around here. There are some tricky corners, but all in all, if you can follow other people, you're still going to benefit from that little bit extra speed compared to everyone else. So I just don't know by this point, I'm afraid, Thomas. But it is interesting. And of course, if you're sat there watching at home, please do get in touch with us. I think is it at RaceDepartment on Twitter anyway? Is one of the ways you can get in touch. But actually, that's something I haven't realised, right? Some people will be starting uphill.
Yeah.
Because we have the grid will be for 25 people. So, what happens is, some people will be starting uphill coming up the elite. So, some people will have a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of trying to start from uphill. But the big thing is you won't be able to see the lights. But I think, here we go. Warm-up's finished. Time to get underway racing.
Yeah, indeed. So we should be moving to the race soon. I just noticed Kevin Harris is the one who just left the game. So hopefully for his sake, he can get back in. I'm sure they'd really want him back in, because that'd be a big blow to Redback for their chances in the team championship. So he's hopefully going to get back. Not sure how long Chris is going to wait for him. I wouldn't say it'd be too long. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch that. Nope, there it goes the race. So there you go. Unfortunately, as there's the lovely noises in the ears, so unfortunately Kevin Harris is not going to be in this first race. It's a big shame for Redback. They're really going to be hurt. Yeah, they're going to be very much hurt in the team championship from that. But hopefully, fingers crossed, he can get back in for race 2 and hopefully get back some points for them. But yeah, it looks like, as you say, you're right, looks like a couple of guys further back in silver. He's just near the back, and he's just at the start of that downhill. So him and Aiden, Kieran, and they're the two that are most affected by this, along with Fabrice. So they're going to have a great fun time trying to start off from that sort of an angle. But either way, we are getting ready to go. We will have a formation lap, so don't worry, I won't stuff that like last time where I got confused with the formation standing because Tony too early. I blame Tony for that. Sorry, Tony. But either way, we've got 15 seconds now for the drivers to grid up before we start the formation lap. And starting them off will be Brody Steen with that fantastic lap at the end of qualifying to take pole for Race on Oz. It's a Race on Oz lockout, though, with Sean Allen in P2. Tony Benelli is the next of the rest, basically, for the APR 1 team in P3, with Michael Steed in P4 for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. Jeremy Talbot, as I said, very impressive stuff from him there for Speedy Might to take P5. He'll be very happy with that. With Chris Stacey for second Roaring Pipes car in P6. Jamie Pryor is in P7, the championship leader, so let's see how he goes. He'll be one to watch with interest throughout this race. Sean Rogers in the first of the Tin Shed cars is in P8 with Matt Legale in P9. Ashley Cohen rounds out your top 10 in the second of the APR cars. With next up is Pavel Koshkin. He is in P11 for the SR team there. We'll see how Pavel goes. Around about the same as place as he was in Adelaide. I think he was about 10th, 11th in Adelaide, so consistency from Pavel, I have to say. Simon Bailey, another one, looking impressive here at Oulton. He was a bit further back at Adelaide, looking much more comfortable here at this circuit. He lines up in P12 with Matt Bailey in the Penrite entry in P13. Fred Locklear in what is now the only redback in this race is P14. Andrew Scott in P15. Sam Smith in the second of the Tin Sheds. He's P16 with Jack Trooper in the second of the APR1 cars, P17. Oh, then we're going in that fantastic temp car. I already have praised that car in the first round for that lovely little Mickey at R-Factor/AMS with the lovely temp cars you get if you join an online game. Those who do league racing will know of it. Glenn Collins has managed to get his game sorted this time, so he will actually race here at Oulton. Thankfully, he's in P19. Alex Mertz in the second of the Speedy Mike Racing cars is P20, with Edward Rocket for 2K F1 Racing P21. Steve Legale down in P22 in the second of the LG cars, with Ian the Barbarian Silver in P23. Aidan Kiernan is going to be P24, and rounding out your field for this first race is going to be Fabrice there in the GoRace.fr car, and just about on time as they're just lining up now, so that went very nicely. So here we go, ready to go here at Oulton Park. Who's it going to be? Is Jamie going to come through, take another win? Will it be Tony Benella for APR? Will it be one of the Race on Oz cars? We will see in half an hour's time as the revs build, the lights come on, and we are ready to go here for the first race of this round, and we're away here for this race. And I'll tell you what, Brody Steen has gone absolutely monster start. Look at that, he's gone. He's just bye-bye, guys. I'm out of here. Fantastic start from him. Sean Allen holds position in P2 just about. Oh, Tony Benelli and Michael Steed getting very, very close indeed as they're trying to go side by side here as they head through the sweeping left-hander down towards Foster's. I think Tony's going to hold it just about, but I'll tell you what, the Race on Oz boys are going to be going, keep fighting, guys. We're just going to walk away as, I do see some tyre smoke further back. I think everyone somehow has gotten through without any major incidents. So great start from everybody, nice and clean, although is that someone around at the back? I'm not sure it is. Oh, Fred Locklear is around at the back for Redback. It's a real shame for them there. Round just gets worse and worse here in this first race, but it is Brody Steen leading the way from Sean Allen. Tony Benelli having an almighty fight with Michael Steed right now.
It was certainly a very good lap, very good opening start there by Steen. Also Allen up into, so it's 13 ahead of number 2 as they come up towards the line for the first time. What a fantastic start they got. 1.8 seconds clear, the pair of them are clear on Benelli, who's in third, but the battle for third is going to certainly be really close. In fact, Steed trying to go around the outside, coming up towards Old Hall Corner for the second time. Pulls about the line, Benelli trying to fight back on the inside line, just about takes it. Can't quite hold it though, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches and more. 3 wide, they almost go there with Chris Stacey right behind them. Up towards Cascades and Foster's for the second time of asking. Steed just about takes position, in fact yes he does. So that took about a third of a lap, but he did manage to get it, and now Chris Stacey all over the back of Tony Benelli, goes from all of a sudden fighting from third, maybe even losing fifth at the end of the lap.
Yeah, indeed. So Benelli really struggling. He's not able to get the car turned on right now, it seems. Not really as comfortable as I would have thought. Oh,
and Bailey was getting very wide there, coming through Nick of Brook. Almost lost a couple of positions there.
Yeah, indeed. And then Jack Trooper nearly went round as well. They're all very close back there as well. I just saw Steve Legale have a lovely lock up there as well. They're all very close in that midfield. They're almost 3 wide back there. But I'll go back up this fight. Chris Stacey is through now, so Benelli just keeps dropping like a stone right now. I don't know what's going on, but he's just got no pace. Pirate's going to have a look as well. He's his fellow APR driver, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like Benelli's not going to let him through. We did see at round 1 that I don't think there's many team orders going on APR as well. Look at this Chris Stacey having a look at Steed as well. So this fight, the Race on Oz are just going, we're just out of here, boys. Bye-bye. Thanks for all this. We'll just leave you in peace.
Tolbert's dropped a couple of positions. He locked up, went wide at Old Hall Corner, spat him out on the curb, half spun, nearly put it in the barriers, managed to keep it though, lost 3 or 4 positions, and now Matt Legale trying to look at the inside of Mr. Rogers there, so that's certainly turning into a great battle for 7th place as well.
Yeah, indeed, and yeah, look at that, Jeremy Talbot down to 12th. That's a real shame because he was looking really strong in qualifying. I hope for Talbot's sake that he gets back up the field. He knows he has the pace, he just needs to try and get further up, so watch him to possibly come through later on. But look at this, Benelli looking a bit stronger now. That pace is coming back to him here as he starts to challenge Stacey for that P4. It looks like Benelli just took a bit of time to get going, but he's starting to really get going now as he's really pestering the back of Stacey. As there's also that great battle for 7th behind as Rogers is coming a cork in the bottle. Oh no, Simon Bailey.
Oh dear,
yeah, around. Oh, yeah, just lost at the rear. Looked like he just took too much curb round she went. And that's a real shame because he was on for a really good result, Simon Bailey there. And he's having trouble getting it going as well. So real shame for Bailey, but at least he's still in the race. So hopefully he can try and salvage some points results from it. But whatever the case, Brody Steen and Sean Allen have absolutely checked out at the front of the field so far. They are just gone in those Race on Oz cars.
But can I just say that it is closer? Allen is actually catching up on Steen, so Brodie currently in the lead of the race. His teammate Sean, though, I think on that last lap, his last lap 106.5 as opposed to the 106.6. So he is closing in ever so slowly on Brodie for the battle for the lead. So it is going to be a really good battle for the lead in a couple of laps or so. But they have checked out. What's the gap now? It's 3 seconds to the good, the pair of them ahead of Michael Steed in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Benelli has dropped back a little bit on Chris Stacey once again. Jamie Pyatt all over the back of him in 5th and 6th.
Yeah, indeed. No, yeah. Looks like Benelli just not quite got the pace right now. He's qualifying, not really mirroring his race pace right now. As soon as that further back, well, it's Matt Legalle having a look at Sean Rogers. He was, I saw in the article posted for the live stream there. He was one to watch, which I think is a good spot. He is one to watch here because he was, those of you who watched Adelaide will have seen, he was quite aggressive, let's say, around there. He was not in a bad way. He was willing to go for a move if it was there. So it was good to see someone having a real crack. So, you know, credit to Matt for that. And that was a good point as to why to watch him to see if he's going to be as aggressive here, or maybe he's going to calm down. Maybe he'll be a bit calmer here and just try and get the solid points. But we'll see it here. He's having to chase and pass Sean Rogers. This will be a real telling sign of his intentions for this round. It looks like he's trying every which way to get past, nearly pushing him through the double right-hander there as they get to the entry. Oh, he takes the curve there.
Don't do it, Matt. Don't do it. Oh,
that's one of the corners, isn't it? Yeah, that's one of the corners, isn't it? That's one of the corners where the curb can really get you, and Matt nearly found that out. That was very close, but I've got to give credit to Ashley Cohen behind. Obviously missed the first round, but he's coming out punching here in the second round. P9 at the moment. Battles have just equalised, but tell you what, P1, Sean Allen is on a mission. I think he sniffs a win, and I think he wants it quite a lot, as he's now got the gap to under half a second here. I'll tell you what, we've got some great battles going on, but I think Matt Legalle is the one to watch. Oh, he nearly looks at Sean Rogers through the left-hander. That could have been a bit dangerous, but he pulls out in the end probably the wise moves that go through Foster's. Sean Rogers, he has got a mirror full of that Castrol car right now.
He has, and can I just say, there's a great battle going on for 13th. McGowan Van Wyk coming up to the exit of Foster's there. He's dropped back 6 different positions. He's now down into 18th from 13th initially, so he's done really... had a bit of a struggle there. So Sam Smith up into 13th. In fact, it is Sam Smith in 13th. Glenn Collins behind him, coming into a double right-hander at Druids all over the back of him. There's barely 2 car lengths. In fact, it's not 2 car lengths, it's 1 car length. He's in the tow. Could he have a look coming up the inside at Lodge Corner? He moves to the right-hand side. He's on Jarman's right-hand side. He's got the inside line. He makes the move up the inside. Just about, yes he does, sideways, oh my goodness. Also Steve Legalle's off, he's spun coming up to Elite as well. So Steve Legalle, who was doing really well in that little battle, drops down 19th, rejoins, luckily not in the way of anyone. They all managed to avoid him. He loses a whole host of positions, which is a shame for him, as he had a good little run up to that point. Curse of the commentator, I'm afraid, Steve, ever so sorry. But 13th and 14th is not looking unlucky. It's a fantastic little battle so far. Even behind them, Trooper and Bailey have got a little bit of a ding-dong match going on up into Foster's. Everywhere you look, there just seems to be cars trying to overtake. It's fantastic racing.
Indeed, it's exactly the sort of close racing we saw at Adelaide, and it's repeating here again at round 2. I'm just keeping an eye on the first place battle, because I tell you what, Sean Allen is just chipping away. Every single lap he's just been chipping away at Steen's lead, and this is where it's getting interesting, because they may want to just not be a bit tactical here, because Roaring Pipes are fighting them directly in the team championship, and they're both 3rd and 4th. So this is almost a team battle as much as it's an individual battle here. So it's going to be interesting to watch what Race on Oz do here. I don't think they're going to do team orders too much. I suspect just in general, not many of the teams are really keen on doing that. But it's just going to be something to watch here, as it's clear to me that Allen is faster than Brodie Steen. Not by much, mind you, but enough. Although the gap is still 3.6 seconds, to be fair, to P3. So they have a bit of wiggle room right now to possibly have a bit of a tussle, you know, see if Allen can get by legitimately. But if things start to get a bit dire later on with the gap, they can always do a little switcheroo and maybe get Sean into the lead. We'll see how that plays out, though. That's an interesting little inter-team battle to watch. That battle for P7 is still going fantastically as well. We've got it now at a 3-way fight. As Ashley Cohen's involved. And look at that behind Koshkin. He's having to fend off a recovering Talbot for P10.
Yes, it's a fantastic 5-car battle coming into Druids there. It's interesting to see because Legale is all over the back of Sean Rogers. Sean, he has to defend really hard. He's not quite going to do it. Matt Legale just so much later on the brakes coming into the final corner at Lodge. He gets it stopped at the apex, car turned in, makes the position. Legale is unleashed over the line up into 7th place. Now Rogers is certainly going to try and come back on him. Legale sensibly tries to half defend the inside into Old Hall corner, the first corner. Don't get a bit of a lock up as Legale does. He can't quite get it turned in. Runs wide over the line. Does keep it back onto the circuit. No real time gained or lost, which is what we try and see. Of course, if you are going over the marks at the corners, you are not allowed to make up time, of course, like any form of racing. But Legale, he's going to push Benelli down in 6th place, and he's in a bit of no man's land now. Pyatt up into 5th, who's closing in on Stacey and Steed, both of which are having a great battle for the final spot on the podium in 3rd.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting that, as I said, Benelli he had a great qualifying, but just doesn't have the race pace. He's pretty comfortable just in 6th. He's not really gaining, not really losing. He's just in his own space. As we look at Steed here, having a look at Chris Stacey. Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Oh, so it was Steed leading him through, because Steed was on the inside. I thought Steed was having a go at Stacey, it was the other way around. So Steed, obviously feeling that maybe his pace isn't quite as good as always. I look back, hang on, this battle for P9 as they're 3 wide out of the last corner. Oh, they really come together. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, Koshkin's there. Oh, look at this. Oh, this can only end badly as they head into turn 1. Nearly 3 wide. I think they're just about going to hold it. Look at this Talbot around the outside of Cohen. What a move that was from Talbot.
Lads, you did that well.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, they actually managed to get through without killing everyone, basically. So that is really kudos driving to them. Talbot up to P10. The recovery continues as well. Koshkin goes wide at Foster's. That's going to give Sean Rogers the chance of getting back through into P8, and he does so. But tell you what, this battle is fantastic. What this is doing is allowing Legale to get away, so he's just loving this. And then keep in mind, Andrew Scott isn't far behind either, so these guys keep this up, as they are doing. As there's Cohen having a look at Talbot as well, but these guys keep this up. Andrew Scott may get involved as well. Koshkin wide again. Yeah,
massive block there.
Yeah, it must be just struggling with brakes, mustn't he? Mustn't quite have them in the right setup for him, as he's been locking up quite frequently the last few corners. Look at this Talbot having a look down the inside. And it nearly contacted there, but they get through in the end. I think Koshkin's just going to hold it. But look at this Talbot not giving up. He's still trying here, as he might have a look into turn 1. He's just about close enough here as he keeps gaining. Yeah, he's having a look, isn't he? And look at that down the inside. But Koshkin again holds it around the outside. No, he doesn't. Goes wide. Oh, nearly into Cohen there. That was so close. But looks like Talbot through to 9th. Cohen's 10th. There's just... it's too much going on, Dan.
He's feeling the pressure. He can definitely tell that he is feeling the pressure. It's important. Koshkin is back on the attack now, but by locking up the brakes so much, you can tell he's just not feeling confident. He's just thinking, I don't want to let these guys through. I'm just going to have to get the car stopped. He's pushing it too much, and you can see that that's slowing him down ultimately with the lockups. Talbot now up into 9th, Cowan into 10th. Sean Rogers has had a bit of a breather now, actually down in 8th place. Matt Legale catching up slowly on Benelli, and now it's a 3-way battle for 3rd place in effect. But as well, the battle for the lead is extraordinarily close. 2 or 3 car lengths now as they come over the line to start the next lap. Lap 11.
Yeah, indeed.
Lap 12 they're on now, or lap 11.
Lap 11, yeah, lap 11. At the moment, as we're only 3 minutes off halfway, by the way. It's nearly 15 minutes gone already. This race has flown by. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. By. It's just
great racing.
Yeah, unbelievable. But yeah, what I am noticing is I suspect that there might be some team orders going on for the lead, because unless Steen has upped the pace a bit, which I don't think he really has, from what I can see, he's been pretty consistent. Yeah, consistency has been very good. I give him credit there. But he's been doing 106s, 105s consistently, and if any, Alan's just been mirroring him. So I think there might be some team orders here. I think they're going, you know what, Steen, I'll just keep leading. We'll keep Alan behind. We'll just keep formation. Let's get those good team points. I think that's their thoughts at the moment, because they aren't losing anything. They're actually still gaining, if anything, on Chris Stacey ever so slowly. It's nearly out to 4 seconds. It is. There you go, 4.1 seconds now. So I think Race on Oz, they're comfortable. I think they're happy to just stick in formation as they are. We'll see if that changes later on. We'll see if maybe Alan starts to have a good attempt at the race win. We'll see. We'll find that out later on, of course. But either way, I'm watching this battle for Steed because it looks like Pyatt's is in that P5, but he's keen for P4, and I'm sure he'd love that because this is going to help his championship even more. And obviously, with how close it is to the front, every position means so much right now. Benelli still in P6 and still pretty much in his own space at the moment. With the Galley still closing ever so slowly, he's been just chipping away in the last few laps. I reckon that might be a battle towards the end there for P6. P8, Sean Rogers in a bit of breathing space now from Jeremy Talbot, back up to P9 again after that spin earlier on. Ashley Cohen rounds out your top 10, although Pavel Koshkin is looking feisty to try and get back in that 10th spot. Further back, it's a bit more spread out, generally speaking, as I've noticed throughout the race. A few of the guys further back have been having spins. I think Matt Bailey is just recovering from one. So a few of the guys further back just struggling to keep the cars going. But as we said, they're not the easiest of cars to drive, so it's completely understandable. But I'll tell you what, battle for P4, I reckon it's getting closer and closer.
The battle for P3. Pyatt trying to look up the inside on Steed. Steed makes a little bit of a wide mistake. There's a bit of contact there. Pyatt does stay in 5th place. He's pushing like mad. He wants a 4th place because he's got the pace to get past Stacey. They come up towards the likes of Foster's, and they're three cars in one line effectively. They can just sense as well how much Pyatt is getting wound up by being behind Steed. That is what is going through his mind, and crucially, he's going to try absolutely everything in his bag in order to try and get through, but that means he's pushing himself a little bit harder than maybe he ought to. And as you saw, contact made there, Steed runs very deep and very wide on the exit of the corner. Some people prefer that line to try and get the car as much power down as possible. The battle for 3rd place, and well, arguably 4th place now, is the one you want to watch. Koshkin down in 11th place now, actually, so after that recovering a little bit, but only time will tell whether he can get it past.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it looks like the field, as I said, feel a bit more spread out now. Everyone's sort of getting in their own groove, and as I said, a few of the guys, or a number of the guys further back down the field, they're sort of recovering from spins, which is why they're back down there. So that's why it's a bit spread out back there. The battle for P8's not bad as well, actually. Talbot's just been closing in on Rogers, and he's starting to challenge for that P8, so that might be one to watch. We know Talbot's pace is good because he qualified in P5, so we know that Talbot has every chance and the ability to get past Rogers. It's going to be a question of whether he can make it stick, which is, as we've seen, not easy, so we'll see with that one. We'll keep watching that with interest, though. Legali and Benelli has kind of petered out a little bit. Benelli seems to be responding to Legali's pace so far. Good to see Legali has just come a bit stronger, though, than he was in qualifying. It's good to see for him. He's on point at the moment to get a good handful of points. Rogers, though, still holding on in P8, but I think, yeah, if anything, I think Pyatt's actually dropped back from Steed, so I'm assuming a mistake's been had there somewhere, as Jamie's dropped back a fair way off Michael, which is a shame to see. The top two still running in formation. I swear they've been pretty much 3/10 every single lap. They're just keeping the exact same gap, lap in, lap out, which is interesting to see. But it is a Roaring on Oz 1-2 and Roaring Pipes Maniacs 3-4. So it's team formation at the moment. And also interesting, I've just noticed Bad Cat Racing 13-14. So we've got some team formations going on here, which is quite interesting. But here we go, Liz Rogers having to defend from Talbot into the last corner. I think this might be one to watch as Talbot continues his charge through.
Yep, it's going to be close. We can't quite comprehend what's going to happen. Chris Stacey is pushing. He's having a great race in 3rd place. But my Steed now up into 4th. Pyatt's dropped back a little bit, so maybe the amount he was trying to push Jamie there was trying to push. It just didn't work out for him, and as a result, he's dropped back. But for the battle up in the lead, it's dropped away a little bit as well. They're very content in their positions, but it's currently a battle between the number 50 and the number 7 for 3rd and 4th. Increasingly, though, actually, they come up, to go past you there, Thomas. Oh, and through it goes. Chris Stacey lifts off, and Michael Steed has gone up into 3rd place. So that's interesting tactics there. So the Roaring Pipes Maniacs cars have done the switch around. Doesn't affect the team's title. Only affects the only affects the team's title as opposed to the Drivers' Championship for them. But nonetheless, it's going to be interesting. And I think they're trying to see if they can keep the positions where they are. It's going to be Racing on Oz 1 and 2, Roaring Pipes 3 and 4, APA 2 and then APA 1. So it's a shame they can't run a 4-car team. That'd be quite interesting. But and big wide there from Chris Stacey out at the exit of Old Hall Corner. Very, very wide. Had to catch the car, and as a result, he's lost a good couple of car lengths on his teammate. And Jamie Pyatt all of a sudden can sense blood once again coming into Foster's corner. He's got the line. He can see Chris Stacey struggling maybe on his tyres in front of him. So he can see he's going to have to push, and he's got the fire back in his belly.
Yeah, indeed, and also noticing Benelli is just sneaking up. He's been doing some nice clean laps, and he's sneaking up on this battle, so he may have a 4-car battle pretty soon. And then keep in mind, Galet's not far back, and we know Matt will go for a move that's there. So this could be quite interesting in the last 10 minutes of this race. We've got about 12 minutes to go, so we're nearly in the last third of this race. The thing I find interesting is that this is the second time they've done this. Chris Stacey nearly has a look there in the last corner. Geez, if he'd locked that up and gone straight on, that could have been a really awkward scenario. But yeah, this is really interesting because they did this before as well. They switched around earlier in the race, so I think they're either just trying to defend from the Apia guys, or I'm thinking that they're trying to switch again to see if maybe Michael can catch the Race on Oz guys, because clearly I think they've tried Chris. They thought, you know what, Chris, we'll let you go, see if you can maybe catch the leaders. He hasn't done so. They thought, you know what, we'll get Steed to pass, and we'll see if he can maybe catch the Race on Oz guys. But I don't know if he will. I think the Race on Oz guys are just too quick. They're just too good at the moment. They're too consistent and too quick. They're just sitting there having a lovely time. I think it's a pretty relaxing race for them. It's almost like a formation practice session, pretty much. But either way, Steed P3, Stacey 4, Pyatt there in 5th, and then Benelli is just off. If these three start battling, he's right there to get involved as well. The Galet in P7. The Rogers-Talbot battle is still going on strong. Rogers is still holding though, but Talbot, look at this, he's very keen to get that P8, but Rogers is doing a very good job so far of keeping that car nice and straight. Actually, Cohen, he is in P10 behind those two in his own world as well. So we've got a few drivers throughout the field who are just kind of in their own space right now, just bringing the cars around. I'll tell you what, Rogers is having to defend pretty heavily from Talbot here. He's really wanting that P8, but look at this P3, it's on again. The two Roaring Pipes guys close. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Stacey again. So it looks like RPM, they just can't decide, can they? They can't decide who's quicker. If anything, they're just too similarly paced, so that there's no real way to know who is quicker. But look at this Pyatt. Tell you what, he's keen to get past Steed here as they head towards Foster's. Can he have a look? No, he's not close enough. But I think the thing is here, Dan, I think they can't really play team orders much more, because if they do, Pyatt's going to get them both. Well,
they've tried it, and I think they've decided that, you know what, Chris is doing well around certain parts of the course. Steed's doing quite well through different parts of the course. The fact that they're having to follow each other is playing about, maybe they're just playing with Ipa's minds and really trying to upset them and trying to irritate them. But Steed, certainly through the first part of the lap, and arguably through the latter part of the lap as well, is not playing second fiddle potentially, but rear gunner to Chris Stacey, who's helping him in the third place. Pyatt in 5th is just feeling absolutely desperate. Steed trying to have to block, coming up towards driver's right hand side. He goes wide through Lods. Pyatt on the right hand side though, he's going to kind of go side by side up through Dearly. He's got the inside line coming up towards Old Hall Corner. He's got his nose in, that's about it. Can he try and make the move? He brakes as absolutely late as he dares. Bit of a lock-up, drifts wide, bit of contact. Pyatt up into 4th place, they get a bit of a wheel. They both contact, off on the grass. Again. They keep making contact up towards Cascade, still side by side, only just coming out of it. Steed is 4th place. Pyatt still trying to look for 5th place. This means Chris Stacey all but confirmed for that 3rd place so far. Steed, with no doubt, is going to be angry inside of that car. The amount of contact, he's going to be saying to himself, are you joking, Sunshine? There's no way you're going through. He retains 4th place, only just resists the amount of contact though. Talk about getting close.
Oh, and that was I think a case of just the lines kept colliding. The way these cars are, it's so hard to catch it with such a short wheelbase that you end up going back into each other just with the way these cars are. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, and they're going again. You look at the Steed defending again, almost carbon copy of last lap. He doesn't lock up this time, which is a key factor. But look at this Pyatt. He's pushing it through the last corner.
Half spins. Oh dear, he loses 5th place. Benelli out of nowhere has come back into this.
That was a good catch though. He just caught it, just locked the fronts to stop that from fully turning around. That was a good catch from Pyatt there, good reactions. And in the end, he only loses 1 spot, so that was not as bad as it could have been. So credit to Jamie there, but yes, Benelli has been a bit of a quiet one this race. He suddenly finds himself in P5, right in the middle of this very heated scuffle between RPM and Apia right now. Yeah, I tell you what, that moment in the first corner, that was banana stuff right there. There was, I feel like that could be literally the insert Vettel quote of "Is this racing or is it ping pong?" Quote right there, very very fitting for that particular moment, because it pretty much was ping pong for about 10 or 15 seconds there. So it was pretty intense. But either way, I'm going to be interested to see. I wonder if Benelli will let Pyatt through, or if they're going to battle. We'll see. As again, look at the Galet. The Galet's there. I'll tell you what, if these guys keep having these issues, the Galet could be involved very soon, and we know that he'll have a go if it's there. So this is It's all getting very interesting, but again, what this is doing is just letting Race on Oz absolutely cruise out in the lead.
It is. They've done a fantastic job, and can I just say, the battle for 8th place right now is looking absolutely superb. Rogers trying to get it stopped on the apex, coming through Lodge Corner, and up through Dearly, Talbot all over the back of him. Up towards the line, they are nose to tail. They've been like this for a couple of laps. This has been one of my standout battles throughout the race. Talbot goes left, right, left, right, left, right, up the inside, coming into Old Corner. Can't quite make him work though. Rogers keeps position. Slow out of the corner though, no contact made. This is how you can race nose to tail without making contact. But still, through Cascades, backs out of it. Talbot is just so much quicker. Has to stop it on the apex. Rogers just knows how to defend on the apex, and he just can't get through. This is what really winds drivers up when you're behind someone. You think, I am so much quicker, I've got to move it up the inside, but it just stops it on the apex just at the wrong point, so I can't go through. It's irritating for the drivers, but it's fantastic for us to watch.
Yeah, indeed. I just noticed, Jamie Pyatt had a moment of his own. He just had a little bit of an off through Foster's, and he's now down in P7 now from P5. He'd actually got to P5. He got past Benelli, and then had a little bit of a mistake at Foster's, and that's why he's now down to P7. So Legale all of a sudden finds himself in P6. So Legale's going, thank you very much, guys. This is just great for me. So yeah, a bit of a shift around there, but I think you're right. P8's the one to watch. So that battle's been going for quite some time now, and Talbot just cannot find a way past Sean Rogers. I just say, great battle, I have to say. Very, very hard fought, but very clean as well. It's great to see these two having such a hard fought battle, but still keeping that respect. There's still been very, very close, but never in a dirty way, which is always fantastic to see. Actually, Cullen's not far behind those two. I think he has been ever so slowly catching up. So we'll have to watch that to see if Cullen does catch up at some point. The way these two keep battling, it may well happen, because they are fighting very, very hard indeed for that P8, and that's probably the one to watch. The top 7 have started to gap out a little bit, thanks to those issues before, so they've all sort of started to be in their own space at this point. A little bit of a rundown of the order while we have the sort of vaguely quieter time. Brody Steen still leading, as he has done since lap 1, from Sean Allen as they continue their formation at the front. Chris Stacey looking on for a podium here for RPM. That'd be great for them, with Michael Steed in P4 after the bout of ping pong earlier on. Tony Benelli in P5 with Matt Legale having a good drive so far up to P6. Jamie Pyatt in P7, probably going to be a little bit disappointed with that if he doesn't get any better than that, but still good points, which will be the main thing. That's this battle for P8, Sean Rogers and Jeremy Talbot. Watch it here into turn 1 as Rogers once again going defensive. Fabrice
got Truffitt ahead of them as well.
Yeah, good job getting out of the way too from Fabrice there. Good awareness to see these two coming as Sean Rogers continues to defend, but for how long? That's the question.
It is. It's going to be very, very tight. So we've got still, how long have we got left? We've got 4 minutes to this race left to go. 23 laps we have done around the Oulton Park Foster circuit. 1.66 miles I found out in the end, by the way. But yeah, so it's really tight. It is looking really good, and this is going to be the battle. Of course, these guys provisionally will be starting in 3rd and 2nd respectively. So I suppose for Talbot, whilst he's not going to get those extra couple of points, he'll be starting 2nd in the race, and he's not been going slowly. It's been a great battle, and if these guys can sufficiently hold up the rest of the oncoming pack, it will be a mega battle in race 2.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be this. I suspect it'll be even more, even closer than it was at Adelaide. Just for how close everyone is on pace, it could be quite something. But either way, Rogers, bit of a bad run through the final corner again. Seems like Talbot just a bit quicker out of that final corner as he now has to look around the outside again. Rogers once again defends that inside straight away. Talbot having to go around the outside. He breaks pretty late, he's trying to do it around the outside. I think he's tried pretty much every other move, so why not? He doesn't make it stick, and Rogers has done a great job defending. I've got to say, really, really good defence from Rogers so far. Again, Cohen just behind them, and he's sort of been slowly catching over the last few laps. He's got a nice little gap back to Sam Smith at P11, so it looks like, if anything, there may be a throw fight. We'll see. There's only 3 minutes to go, though. We're in the last part of this race. Probably only got 2 or 3 laps to go, I would say, in this race. I believe it's time run out plus 1 lap, if I remember correctly, from Adelaide. So either way, very interesting at the front. Again, Sean Allen and Brody Steen very close again, but they're still keeping that same formation they've kept all race long. It's been a textbook drive, I have to say, from Race on Oz. They got clear at the start, got a fantastic getaway off the line, held P1 and 2, and they've just never looked back ever since lap 1, pretty much. Allen got clear of the pack as well through turn 1, and they've just galloped away while everyone else has been battling. So it's been a textbook drive from the Race on Oz crew. RPM as well have done a very good job as well. You have to say they clearly just don't quite have the pace of Race on Oz in a race situation. That's why they've just dropped back slowly but surely over the race. Done a good job to hold on to P3-4 so far, it has to be said. Benelli having a pretty quiet race, actually. He's had a quiet one all race long. He's more just been fortunate from others' mistakes more than anything else in P5. And as I said, the Galley, good drive from him as well so far to come up the fields. Oh, I just watched Talbot nearly have a look on the inside of Rogers through Foster's. Oh, Cohen's round at Foster's. I saw in the background he went off at the left-hander and he's gone round at Foster's. He's going to lose
a couple of positions now, isn't he?
Yeah, down to P12. I think he'll just pop out ahead of Koshkin. But what that does do, and that now means Sam Smith may well be on pole for the reverse grid if he keeps in P10, and that could make the second race quite a interesting proposition, I think.
Yep, this is what this kind of racing is about. You can throw it off into the weeds in the very last lap and cause all kinds of trouble. But, you know, we've seen the Racing on Oz cars have just done the perfect race. 1-2, they've run close to each other throughout the course of the race. They've not needed to trip over each other. They've not battled. They've not really pushed too hard. They've just enjoyed the race with each other. They've had a bit of fun around the trees and all the rest of it here at Oulton Park. So, just enjoying the kinds of sort of conditions we've got and the lovely sort of maturing race circuit, the race circuit which is getting more and more grippy, so it will get slowly more grippy as well, which will be more nice to feel as well. We've got 29 out of 30 minutes completed. Ooh. So this will be, I'm assuming, the penultimate lap, or in fact the third last lap, but they are getting very close indeed. Still only a couple of car lengths, so you never know. Maybe they've got a packed, you know, you can get it this far up the race, boys, as long as you don't take each other out, you're always in position. So you never know, there still could be a battle for the lead on the last two laps, as over the line they come now, and it's 30 out of 30 minutes. This, I think, will be the last lap. Yep. Last lap then. So as we move on to our 100% complete, so last lap we go on to now. This is your battle for the top two.
Yeah, indeed, and it looks like so far I think they will just hold station. Even now, I think they might just bring it home. I think Alan's happy to take a P2 here, as I think he must be thinking team championship rather than and even drivers championship, because this is still a second spot for him, which is still a great bag of points. So you know he's only going to lose points to Brody is the thing to remember here. So I think he'll be happy with P2. But I'm just watching back. That Sean Ross and Talbot is still going on. And it's still just as fierce. It's great to see these two having a great fun ding-dong. Again, very clean and respectful though, I've got to say. Really, really good stuff from these two. We'll keep an eye on these top two guys. Race on Oz, as we say, they've been effectively textbook. It's just been, you can't fault them. You cannot fault them. There's just been completely consistent, no mistakes, got the good starts, got away from the pack, and they have not looked back at all race long as they come out of the final corner for the final time here in the first race here at the second round of the RDTCC. It's going to be Brody Steen bringing it home for the win from Sean Allen. Great race from Race on Oz, textbook stuff. That's maximum points for them. They will be over the moon with that. RPM though, good race from them. Going to be 3 and 4. Chris Stacey does end up finishing ahead of Michael Steed after their multiple switchings throughout the race, trying to figure out if they could catch Race on Oz, which unfortunately was not the case for them. Tony Benelli in a pretty anonymous P5, really. Quite a quiet race for him after the early laps, falling back a little bit from the top few positions. Matt Legale ends up P6, good points for him, with Jamie Pyatt ending up P7, a championship leader. So I don't think after that he shouldn't be leading the championship anymore, I'm pretty sure. So that's a bit of a shame for Jamie, but still a good handful of points, so at least he can be content with that. Sean Rogers did end up holding on from Jeremy Talbot. That is a great result of defending from him, because I'm pretty sure Jeremy caught up to him with about 10 or 12 minutes to go. So that was a good nearly half the race of just solid defending from Sean Rogers. So really, really good stuff for him. Jeremy Talbot, though, a good recovery to get P9 after the spin. The honourable flash there, I think, of appreciation for that great battle between those two. P10 ends up being Glenn Collins, actually. Oh, wow. So I think Sam Smith may have made a mistake at the end that we missed there. 10. So Glenn Collins. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes, I think,
really
Glenn must have just
over the line for them.
That's crazy, and that is big, obviously, as well, because that's going to mean that Glenn Collins will be on pole for race 2, which is going to be interesting to watch. We'll watch that one. But Sam Smith is P11 with Ashley Cohen ending up P12 there. So after that spin drops back a bit, but still good points. Pavel Koshkin ends up P13 with Andrew Scott. A good solid 14th for him as well. So Bad Cat with some very good results there in the midfield. It's definitely an improvement over where they were at Adelaide. Jack Trooper ends up P15 in the second of the APR1 cars, with Ollie McCowan in that lovely temp car in P16. Edward Rocket ends up P17 for 2K F1 Racing. Good stuff from him. I think he started near the back at the start of the race, managed to keep it clean and make up some spots, so good stuff from him. Fred Lockley ends up in P18 after that spin earlier on in the race for him, with Steve Legale. A bit of a difficult race for him there. I think he had a spin or two throughout the race. A bit of a shame for Steve. Matt Bailey ends up P20 with Alex Mertz in P21. Aidan Kiernan P22 with Fabrice. Rounding out the field in P23, we did have two retirements there, unfortunately. Simon Bailey and Ian Silva are the two retirements from that race. But generally, most of the field bring it home, which is good to see. But I tell you what, Dan, that was quite an exciting first race, I must say.
Yes, it was absolutely fantastic. The race lead battle, I'm going to say battle, they kept station, but it was still 0.3 of a second over the line after 31 minutes of racing. Great battle, and I really enjoyed the battle with Sean Roberts and Jeremy Talbot. That was just a completely brilliant battle to watch. It was fantastic stuff to see. At the end, it was only 0.4 of a second, which separated the two. There was them last lunge up the inside coming into Lodge on the final lap. Couldn't quite do it, but still, it doesn't really matter. He tried, and he's still going to start in 9th place, so 2nd place in race 2. Fantastic battle. We move on now to the warm-up, and I'd just like to say, I'd like to nominate those two for, realistically, the battle for the race lead. I think, or the battle for 8th and 9th, two of my standout drivers of that race. We go into race 2 now, so it's going to be an interesting one to see, I think. But I'd just like to say, I'm going to nominate them for driver of the day, but I think it will have to be won by Max Verstappen.
Indeed, yes. I think that the moral of the story is Max Verstappen is the
Correct. Yeah.
it's always Max. Doesn't matter. He doesn't have to race. He doesn't have to even be in the same country. It's always Max Verstappen. Just
And it's
whenever the driver of the day,
grid.
Max Verstappen. Yeah, this seems a bit weird. I think this isn't how it's meant to be.
Okay,
okay, yeah,
that
it's
would
going
be
back
why.
to the okay.
Yeah, so
yeah, so disregard. It's all good. We're not going to have
ignore
a
us.
complete reverse grid. Yeah, that would be beyond manic, probably. But so disregard that. We'll be heading to warm up in a minute. They're just doing that now. So disregard the grid lineup right now.
To just say, Jeremy Talbot said in the awesome battle, Sean. That was a lot of fun. Smiley face. Great defence, and it's really good to see that drivers are enjoying it out there, enjoying the battles with each other. That's what we like to see. Great stuff that they were enjoying it.
Yeah, indeed. No, it's Jeremy's. I've got to say, Jeremy. I raced with him in RDLMS. Actually, we're in the same team, the speed white car in that series. And he's a great dude, great guy. I do have a lot of respect for Jeremy because he's a very clean racer, and just a super nice guy. And I think I'm not surprised, to be honest, that he's putting in those messages there. It was a great Sean Rogers. We've just enjoyed that battle. In the end, there was no love lost at all. Indeed, I think, yeah, that's a good way to put it there. I just noticed Kevin Harris is back in, so hopefully for his sake he doesn't crash just before the race session begins this time. Fingers crossed. I really hope that he can get through, because it'd be good for Redback, because they would then have a chance at the double points, which they would love now after that first race. Fred also had a tough one, of course, in that first race, and was down near the low end or high teens, so didn't quite get the points I think that his pace was reflective of. We'll see how Kevin goes here, because yeah, he's fair way. It was at least a fair way up in the championship. He would have lost a good handful of points there, but he should have the pace, I think, to be top 10 potentially. But he will, of course, be starting at the back because he didn't finish or start even in that first race. So, yeah, we have him coming through. We've obviously got the the guys who won the first races or first race at the back end of the 10. So, it's going to be one to watch this one. We saw it at Adelaide, as I said. Adelaide had the full course caution. We had plenty of action in that second race, so definitely stick around for this one, because race 1 was pretty much just a taster. It was just a little bit of a warm-up, bit of an entree to the main course, basically, which is going to be the second race for that reverse grid top 10. And I don't even know who to pick. I just don't know. It's again, because of the reverse top 10, it's even more so. It could legitimately be, I feel like, nearly anyone in the top 10, because we've already seen how difficult it is to pass. I mean, I'm sure Jeremy Talbot can very firmly attest to that, battling with Sean Rogers for much of that first race. So I don't know. I have no idea. I legitimately do think that anyone in the top 10 could win this one. So I don't know. I'm gonna pick Sean Allen though. I'm gonna pick Sean Allen. I know he's gonna be starting P9, but Race on Oz as we saw on that first race, their pace was just electric all race long, and we saw that I reckon Allen's got a little bit more on steam in race trim if he was let fully loose. So I'm going to go with Sean Allen for my pick as the second race winner. That's my pick. There we go. It's probably going to be well off, but that's my pick. So, Dan, any words from you here before we move on to the race?
I really don't know. It's just, you can't really predict what's going to happen in these kinds of races. We had a safety car last time out, so anything that can happen will happen. So we just have to be a bit patient and wait to see what's going to find in front of us. But it's going to be an exciting race, and it's going to be fascinating just to see how quickly the guys can move forwards. So that's going to be the big one for me, I think.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be a bit of a one to watch to see where all the fast guys end up. Actually, I've just obviously where he finished in that first race. One to watch once again. I said this in the first race, but once again in the second race, Jamie Pyatt could be one to watch because obviously he had a few issues there at the end of that first race. Ended up only P7, so he will line up P4 in his second race. So he's probably the highest placed, really, of the fast guys, quote unquote, because pretty much anyone in the top 10 has got pretty solid pace. But he's probably the highest placed of those sort of top 5 in pace on this reverse grid race. So I think he's one to watch to maybe get it. And I think James is the kind of, I've seen him before, and he did it at Adelaide, where if he can get in the lead, get a nice, get past everyone else, get into a nice lead early on, he'll just romp away. He's more than happy to get in that lead, get into a rhythm, and he'll just start to gap away from everybody else. He did it at Adelaide in race 1. And I think he could do it again here if he can get that good start. If he can get a good start, clear the top 3, and just gallop away, he could end up taking that win relatively in the race effectively. But it's all going to be down to the start, and that's going to be the key pretty much, as we saw in that first race. Jason Knowles got the perfect start, galloped away, and had a lovely old time. Almost, as I said, almost like a team practice session, basically, is what I saw that race being for them, essentially. So we'll see how this goes. Warm-up's just finished, so we'll be heading to race any moment now. And I think the good news is that he is indeed still in the race. Kevin Harris is still in the game, so as long as he doesn't suddenly crash, fingers crossed, no commentator's curse, he should be going for this race. It'll be good for it back to hopefully get 2 points results from this second race. Just about to head to it soon. Waiting for the warm-up session to fully wrap up. Then we'll head to the grid for race 2, what should be a fascinating one. Just before we head to it, while we're waiting for the session to finish and to move on, I'm just waiting for that piercing noise to get into my ear any second. But before then, if you have enjoyed the first race and want to see more of this, watch race 2. That's the first thing. Second thing, be sure to, as I'm waiting for the noise, here it comes. There it is. Lovely. Yep, lovely noise there as the signal goes out for the grid up. of the field. But yes, if you enjoy this, be sure to subscribe to Race Department's YouTube channel. Always streams going out of leagues like this and even club races. A fair few of those are streamed as well, so be sure to follow that to be kept in the loop with everything Race Department in that area. Also the Twitch, of course, live streaming Twitch as well at the moment, so be sure to follow that to be kept in the loop with any streams that go on in the Race Department community. And also check out the website, www.racedepartment.com. Be sure to go there for, if you want to join yourself, if you want to join in this racing yourself, go there to find out how you can do that. And also to get in discussions, plenty of forum boards on there if you want to have a discussion with like-minded individuals about anything racing and the like, and all sorts of things really. And also there's some great download section as well at Race Department with all sorts of mods for all the sims out there. It is very good. I really recommend keeping an eye on that, because there is some great content that is released on that pretty much daily, quite literally daily. But either way, formation lap begins for this second race, and it will be Glenn Collins in the Bad Cat racing car who will lead them off. P2 will be Jeremy Talbot. One to watch again, actually, as well. He's another one to watch. We saw in race 1, we know he's got the pace, and he qualified P5, remember, for that first race. So if he can have a clean start, he actually could be one to watch to maybe take a win or even a podium here, so we'll see. But keep an eye on Jeremy Talbot throughout this race. Sean Rogers, P3 in the first of the 10 shed cars, with that Jamie Pryor there in P4. Again, another one to watch here in the second race. Matt Legale will be P5 with Tony Benelli in P6. Michael Steed, first of the RPM cars, in P7 with Chris Stacey, P8. Sean Allen will be P9, and it will be Brody Steed who will round out your top 10 here in the second race. Sam Smith will be the next one along in P11, second of the 10 shed cars, with Ashley Cohen in P12. Pavel Koshkin, P13 for SR, with Andrew Scott, P14. Jack Trooper, P15. Ollie McCowan in that lovely temp car in P16. Edward Rocket, obviously just had popped in for the interview before. We're watching him to hopefully get a good result here, starting P17. Kevin Harris, P18. Which is interesting, because I swear he didn't actually race at all in that first race, so that's a bit on one. But anyway, he's apparently P18, so there you go. Steve Legale, P19 with Matt Bailey, sorry, in P20. Alex Mertz, P21 with Aidan Kiernan, P22. Fabrice is going to be P23 with Simon Bailey, P24. Ian the Barbarian Silva in P25, and then it's going to be Fred Lockley in P26. I'm fairly sure Lockley and Harris are in the wrong positions somehow. But anyway, we'll let that one go. But either way, the grid lining up now as we get ready to go here for the second race of this round, fourth of the season. Fred Lockley's just lined up the back, should be ready to go here. Lights are about to come on in this second race, fourth race of the season, round 2 of this 11th season of RDTCC. Revs rise as we get ready to go here once again at Oulton Park, and we are about to go. And I'll tell you what, Glenn Collins has jumped the start. Oh no, Glenn Collins has jumped the start.
Oh wow, that's
jump. Yeah,
that's
I think
big.
he's got. Yeah, I think he got the wrong light, because it does do it a bit differently at Oulton Park. But either way, 4 wide further back as Tony Benelli nearly gets squeezed between the Galet and Chris Stacey there as they look further back. Look, this is all sorts through the first corner. Everyone looks like they got through relatively cleanly. Simon Bailey's in the pits already as well, so we've already got a bit of carnage going on throughout the field. But Glenn Collins, I think he'll be doing a drive-through, because that was a pretty big cut. That was John Lacey styles of cars. Oh no, it's a big crash. Further back, big crash in the midfield. That was, I think, Benelli was involved. Yeah, Spinelli involved.
Matt Legale
and
was
Legale.
in there as well.
Yeah, Legale and Steen
Steen,
involved
that's
as well.
a big one.
Yeah, huge crash in the midfield. I didn't quite catch what caused that, but whatever the case, look who's up near. Look who's moved up. Edward Rocket is in P12. So I'll tell you what, he picked it. Lap 1, he was right. Keep an eye on him, because look at this. He's going for P11 now on Andrew Scott as well, and I think he might do it as well. It's a great start from Edward Rocket. He picked it well, I've got to say. He came in, he said, watch me on that one. I'll tell you what, we're watching you, Edward, and you're impressing, although that's not as impressive. Oh, nearly a spin. Oh my goodness, this start. Manic already, we're only 1 lap in.
Exactly, yes. It's been quite an interesting start. It was quite a big collision. Glenn Collins, though, I don't know what he was thinking. Did he see the red lights and think, I'll leave now, guys? So by that point, he's in the lead. Hyatt now up into second. Third place is Michael Steed in third place. Fourth place for Sean Rogers. Fifth is Chris Stacey. Sixth, though. Oh, and another big collision. Chris Stacey's gone up with Sean Rogers up at Foster's as well. I didn't quite see what happened. I only caught the last bits of that. They were both sideways. Massive lock-up. Stacey locked in the middle. Has he managed to keep moving?
Ooh.
I'm not entirely sure. Yes, he has. He's now gotten ahead, but he's behind Steen now in 25th place. Another poor piece of contact, I'm afraid, there. So Chris Stacey's not going to be too happy with that one, but at least he's got someone to battle with behind there. Sean Bailey did eventually retire with that car. He was in the pit lane, the engine cut out. Simon Bailey, no, I do apologise. But Glenn Collins in the lead of this race with quite a large gap. It's going to be something along the lines of 2.5 seconds ahead of Pyatt, who's got Michael Steed all at the inside of him, coming up towards Old Hall Corner on lap 3. Nope, can't quite make it work. There we go then. So, Pyatt second, third for Steed, fourth, Allen fifth is Talbot, and sixth, quite interestingly, is Sam Smith.
Yeah, Smith's had a decent start there. He started P11, he's up to P6 already. It's interesting. Collins still hasn't come into the pits, so I don't know if maybe he actually got it right.
Benelli's gone wide of Foster's as well. Almost went into the back of someone, but just kept it.
Yeah, indeed. And also, I was just thinking back at that incident. It looked to me like Stacey just went too deep. He just got the braking point wrong and just did not have the time to pull it up from where Sean Rogers broke. And it was just one of those things where he just didn't have the time to pull it up before the contact happened. And then there it was, the contact happened, and they both went round. So a real shame for those two. So we've already had a good, I think it was basically 4 key players in this championship already be involved in instance. And to be honest, the one who got away the lightest of all was Benelli, because he's still in P10, so he's not completely out of it, whereas the rest of the guys involved, they're a long way back. And they have some big fighting to do. Here we go, there you go. Glenn Collins pits for what is that drive-through penalty. I was waiting for that to happen. So now that now gives Pyatt the lead, and I wonder, can he do what I mentioned before? Oh, he's in for stop. Okay. Stop and go. Maybe it's a stop and hold, actually. I bet it's a stop and hold. That might be where it is. So
could be a
there you go.
Go,
yeah, big shame for Glenn. Unfortunately, just miscued the timing. As I said, Oulton Park does the lighting sequence a bit differently to the other circuits in AMS. I think it's just they all come on at once, then they come off, unlike other circuits where they build up. So it's something that can catch you off guard, and unfortunately it's caught Glenn off guard. But either way, Jamie Pyatt now leads. But look at this Steed. He's not letting him go. So I was thinking Pyatt might run away with this, but he is not at all. And then look at that, Sean Allen is... Yeah. Oh, so close. And look at that, Allen right there, Talbot right there. There's a whole bunch of them. And as I said, I see, again, pretty much anyone in the top 6, or top 5 definitely, could potentially win this, especially if these top 2 keep battling like this.
It is. It's going to be quite a fascinating little battle. Steed trying to go at the inside, coming into Lodge Corner. Doesn't quite work out. Big lock-up though for him. Lost a whole host of position. Not lost any on-track position. 2 car lengths is all he lost, but still, that's time wasted. And now, Sean Allen is very quickly catching up to the back of these leading 2 as well. So it's going to be a 3-round battle for the lead before we know it.
Yeah, indeed, and it's all close, even further back. It is so close. Again, another one I've noticed has come up a long way is Ollie McGowan. Oh, as he gets bumped out of the way by Matt Bailey at turn 1. That was a big old hip and shoulder there through the first corner. And Bailey's going to keep going. He's not giving it back, because I can see that being in issues. They've got Jack Trooper involved as well. All round the outside at the left hand. He makes it stick as well. Yeah, that was a great move. Oh, one of the redbacks behind Fred Locklear. Oh, all sorts of wild. He manages to not spin, but he goes wide, loses a spot. And he might lose 2 here. So yeah, he does. There you go. Matt Legale gets through, recovering Legale. And Brody's now got Brody Steen, who's also recovering right behind him. I tell you what, this is a panic second race. Jamie Pyatt, though, continues to lead from Steed. And again, look at that. Allen, there he is. He's not going to be holding back this time around, because there's no team orders involved at all. So this could be quite fascinating. Jeremy Talbot, though, P4. Very impressive stuff from him. The same with Sam Smith.
And now Steed into the lead. Steed is now into the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. He's got it out of the last corner. He now leads from Pyatt. We'll see if he fights back. This is a great fight at the front. Talbot's still P4. Great stuff from him. Smith still P5. Also great. Also, actually, the Cohen P6. There's a whole bunch of guys who are at the back end of the 10 or even into the teens who've really gained from this from just taking a clean start. Really good to see. But Steed now leads. We'll see if he can hold his Pyatt. Oh, nearly has a look into Foster's, who's a fair way back, but pulls out of it, which is probably the smart move. Oh, but it's so close. Between these top 3, and again Talbot and Smith, they're right there. I tell you what, they're holding on. They're not doing too bad at all. They're sticking in this fight, and again, even Cohen and Koshkin, they're not that far back. So it's a very close fight here at the front. Steed holds for the moment, but I'll tell you what, Pyatt and Allen are not going to be done anywhere near yet. Look at this, Allen, a much better run through the double right-hander. Steed gets a bit wide. He's got a bit loose. Oh, very loose on the curb in there. That curb can catch you out so easily at this circus. I think Koshkin defending further back. Oh, Steed! Is there contact?
It's gone wide,
yes,
it's gone wide into the gravel trap. I've not seen if there was any contact. He just went ever so wide, almost into the barrier at Lodge. He's going to lose. I'm sorry to say, he's lost the 7 positions. What a shame. I didn't quite see, I'm afraid. I didn't quite see. But now Sean Allen trying to have a look up the inside of Old Hall Corner on this particular lap. What a shame, though, for Michael Steed. A fantastic battle. Jamie Pyatt takes the lead, but he's not going to have it for much longer. Sean Allen is all over the back as they come out down Cascades and into Foster's once more. This on their 6th lap. Just 7 out of the 30 minutes gone. So much action in such a short amount of time here in the 4th round of the Race Department Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, indeed. And I hate to say it, looking back at the replay, it looks to me like Pyatt did nudge Steed, unfortunately. I think Steed just broke a little bit earlier than Pyatt thought he would, and he just had no time to react when they were that close. And unfortunately, just nudged him, and that was enough to unsettle Steed and send him off. So a big shame there. I know Jamie, I know he would not like that kind of thing, so he'll probably be a little bit annoyed that that sort of thing happened. But either way, racing is racing, especially in the reverse grids like this, and he'll keep going on in the lead from Allen. But we've seen Sean Allen, he is quick, and he will not be going away anytime soon. Again, Talbot and Smith, they're holding on, and they're still in this. So top 4 all hanging on quite nicely, and Koshkin now P6s. Looks like Cohen and Koshkin are both fighting, and Benelli trying to come through from that incident earlier on lap 1. Steed's still P8, so Steed's still in the shout of a good result here. We know his pace is good. Kevin Harris up to P9. He started P18, so great stuff from him. Again, Rocket up to P10 as well. He's having a great result. Now look at this further back. Oh my goodness me, I'm just looking back here. There's one for P15. McGowan, Trooper, Legale and Steen all battling over P16. They were nearly 3 wide coming out of the first corner, and they're going at it into Foster's. Here it looks like Trooper and Megale. Oh,
and Cowan's wide.
Yeah, Cowan's wide. Oh no, they're all getting into each other. This is a really close fight. Oh, there goes Trooper.
Oh dear, into the barrier.
Oh, that's Cowan. Yeah. Oh, that is a big shame. He just got hit up the backside, I think, and just went straight into the wall. I mean, I was kind of expecting that, though. They were so close that eventually something had to give. But whatever the case, Trooper now up to P14. Steen's loving this. He's back up to P15. So he's saying, keep doing this, boys. It's just I'm just getting the advantage all the time. Legale ends up P16 in front of Steve. And oh, it's so close. And again, look who's at the front of the pack. Sean Rogers again, this time with P10, not P8. And he's got about 6 cars behind him, not 1. Oh, look at this, Steen having a look at Trooper. You'd think Steen should get this done, as he is quicker than Trooper in genuine pace. But I'll tell you what, Trooper got a lovely exit out of the corner. And I reckon he's going to hold it for the time being, but I reckon it's only a matter of time before Steen gets through, as Bailey up ahead goes wide in turn 1. Action everywhere you look at. This second race has got it all, as that battle for the lead continues on as well in this second race. 9 minutes into 30 minutes, for nearly a third of the way through. And I'll tell you what, there's already been enough action, but there's still so much more to come.
Exactly. It's showing just how competitive the Race Department Touring Car Championship is, and these cars are really providing us some entertainment around this circuit. Even down in 15th place, we look at some fantastic battles, and it's just a case of drivers. You said it's getting a bit more hectic, and it is. It's getting more exciting, more hectic. The gloves are off, very sideways for Allen through the exit of Lodge, the final corner, as they come up towards the line now. There's a couple of car lengths between himself and Pyatt up in first place. Nonetheless, though, we're enjoying such a fantastic battle. Steen trying to have a half look at the inside of Trooper. There was a lockup from McGowan in the number 13 place car. And as they come over the line now, just a massive line of cars. What is it, 5 or 6 cars in the line back? The Galley having to try to look up the inside of Old Hall Corner. Doesn't work, but nonetheless he tries. Oh, and Scott's gone sideways now on the exit of Old Hall, so he's lost 4 or 5 positions as well. You make one little mistake and you can lose a whole host of positions.
Yeah, indeed, that's just how close it is in this race. Pyatt's still leading, though. He is holding on very nicely. Allen has been giving him so much pressure over the last few laps, but he's held on. I'll tell you what, look at that. Jeremy Talbot is on this pack. He's genuinely holding on to the top 2 on pace, which is great to see from Jeremy. Really strong this round. He's got that car hooked up, and he is looking keen to maybe even have a go at Allen himself, so that'd be fantastic for Jeremy. He'll keep an eye on that top 3, as that is very close indeed. Pyatt is holding for the moment, but that could all change very quickly. I'm just looking to see if Allen will get anything here. I don't think he'll quite be close enough. I think Pyatt's just done enough to hold it. But they're going to be going at it all race long, as although Allen's had a lovely run through turn 1. Oh, nearly pushing Pyatt there through the second half of the corner. But I think he's going to not quite have enough. Pyatt's just doing enough. He's just getting the speed right, getting the lines right, so that Allen has nowhere to go to make a passing opportunity. Though he goes for a
he's
late
going to
dive.
try it inside, doesn't work. What an attempt, though.
That was so close. Good vigilance from Allen there to see the gap was closing and not just keep going. That was good awareness from Sean there. And Jeremy's still holding station. Sam Smith, though, he's on his own now, but he's having a lovely clean run in P4. I'm sure he'd love that. That'd be great points for him. Although he does have a Tony Benelli and Steed coming at him, so they've now cleared the guys at the back end of the 10. Kevin Harris up to P8 as well. He's having a great run himself. Edward Rocket, again, P8, P9. He's having a lovely run this race. Sean Rogers in P10. He's managed to gap Matt Bailey a little bit. Brody Steen up to P12, so the charge continues. So it looks like he's managing to carry Matt Legale along with him as well. Chris Stacey update on him, he's up to P16 as he tries to recover from that incident earlier on. I think who's the other one who's involved? I think Ollie McGowan's had an incident as well, as he's dropped down to P23, so it's a real shame for him. Looks like Pyatt's just gapping out in the lead a little bit. But yeah, it's been an exciting race. I think the battle now is P11. Look at this, Matt Bailey having to defend from Legale and Steen. And surely you'd think with the pace these two have over Matt. Oh, as he drifts it through turn 1 there. That was some true initial D stuff right there. Get the deja vu pumping, as that was some true drifting right there through turn 1. And look at this. Steen's looking so threatening on the back of Matt Bailey right now. Will they ever go into Foster's? Not yet, but surely it's only a matter of time.
It's going to be tight and it's going to be good. We're not quite at the halfway distance here, and it's only half a second between Jamie Pyatt and Sean Allen for the lead of this race. Jamie Talbot keeping very nicely in third place though. And just looking up and down the field, as you say, there's some really interesting little battles going on at the moment. We've currently got Matt Bailey running very wide on the exit of Druid. He's going to go straight on into the wall. Yes, he does. Front left contact there. Maybe just a little bit too hot. I think it was too hot coming through Druids up to the first part. You think you can take more speed into there. You brake, you turn in. You put a lot of weight on that front left, and when you start turning in, you can feel the car just doesn't want to turn. You can see it happen there. The car, not a lot of grip rather, on the rear of that car, so maybe he's had it set up to be very loose. But if it is a little bit cold, or maybe he's not got quite, you think he will get the temperature into the car now, but his tyres wear out a little bit, maybe he's having a bit of struggle. So someone has come into the pit lane, and just having a look, it is...
Oh, Jack Trooper.
Trooper, yes. Jack Trooper into the pit. Drive-through penalty. So that can only be, I can imagine, that can only be
track limits. Yeah.
So
there
that's
you go.
A shame, but you know, that's sometimes if you do push it too hard, that's what happens.
Yeah, indeed. That's as we mentioned earlier on. You know, turn 1, as we said, it's very easy to go a little bit too wide there and get pinged with a cut track. And to be fair, as we said, the game's, to be honest, quite lenient with how much curb you can take, because you can take a lot of curb and it won't give you a cut track. So a bit of a shame for Trooper, but he'll keep going along. So I'm just looking at Brody Steen here. He's trying to. It's. I'm sure this is a little bit of annoyance. It's almost like the galley's a bit of an annoying annoyance at the moment, more for Steen than anything else, because Steen's trying to catch up to Sean Rogers here. He's trying to get into the top 10. He's also catching Edward Rocket as well. They're all kind of concertinaing into each other, so I'm sure he's trying to focus on his own race, and there's this really annoying Castrol car that keeps trying to pass him when he's trying to put in these laps. So I think Legale's being a little bit of a thorn in the side of Steen right now. I'm sure Steen's sitting there in the driver's seat going, you know what, mate, why don't we just work together here and catch up to the top 10, because if you keep trying to fight me, we're going to go nowhere, so could you please just give it a rest, I'm sure is what he's thinking right now. But I'll tell you what,
back in as well.
Yeah,
back in for Jack Trooper as well, apologies.
Ah, geez, interesting. Okay, so all going wrong for Trooper. It's a real shame for Apia, but look at this, the guy. He doesn't care, does he? He's like, you know what? I don't care if we're catching the top 10. I want to get you right now. So he's being a real thorn to Brody Steen right now, who I think right now, if anything, he just wants a nice clean run to the end. But Matt, look at this. He is not waiting at all. He wants that P11 right now.
He does. He's pushing as hard as he can, and that's what you got to do in these kinds of situations. It's just life, isn't it? You've got to push as hard as you can. You do make mistakes though, and this thing in motor racing, you will make mistakes if you're pushing as hard as these guys are out there. So you do have to expect these kinds of things to happen. It's not nice when they happen, and it is very irritating when they happen, but just at the end of the day, that's what happens, isn't it?
It is just racing, as you say, but I just noticed as well update on a couple of the guys coming through. Chris Stacey's just got past Andrew Scott, now up to P14, looking like he'll have a go at Steve Legale, and I reckon Steve probably won't fight it too much. Steve's generally known for being a very, very clean racer indeed. And I think he knows that Chris is faster than he is by a noticeable margin, so he probably won't fight it too much. Just want to focus on his own race. We'll see, though. Keep an eye on that one. Oh, Edward Rocket actually has managed to, or he's under the pressure from Sean Rogers. He's been just slowly falling back into the hands of Rogers in the last few laps. Rogers clearly just got a little bit more pace than Edward does. And this is a fight for position for P9. And again, look who's just behind Steen and Legale. They're not far off. Especially if these two start battling like they are, they're only going to close up even more. Oh, Rocket, I think got a little bit of a bump there from from Rogers through the mid corner there. Rogers is going, come on, let's go here. I've got 2 more cars coming up. Let's just keep moving, please. I don't want to be having to defend from 2 cars. So this could get pretty juicy here. This battle for P9 again, up ahead of them. Koshkin, he's holding on ahead of Kevin Harris, who's had a very nice recovery drive so far. And again, the lead, it is so close again. We've got so many battles everywhere. It's really hard to know where to look. I actually think, if anything, the lead might be one to look at. Look at this Sean Allen. He's been closing in the last 3 laps, and he's just looking pretty keen.
Contact for the plate.
Oh, yeah.
Rogers tried to get up the. Rogers tried to make an overtake. Didn't quite work. As a result, just stopped on the apex. Did Rocket. Very good defending. Ooh. Rogers maybe not anticipating. Nonetheless, all I can hear is so I can anticipate.
Oh,
yes,
no,
Rocket's
Rocket round.
The racing line. He's managed to keep it though. What a save! 360 carries on. Nonetheless, you've got to give the man some credit for that one. But it's a shame to see really tight, close racing. Rogers maybe tried to go at the inside, couldn't quite get the car stopped. A bit of nudging, it pushed him out, and Rocket's gone through all sorts there. But nonetheless, he's only lost out a couple of positions. But more importantly, it was a great save. But it means Legale and Steen in a great battle for 9th and 10th. At this point, Steen's going to be back in the place where he started, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed. He's pretty much, it's all come back around for him. I noticed Legale there pierced the gap there between Steen. I think it was Steen and Rocket there. Just pierced the gap between the two as they went up the hill. It was a very brave move, but, well, we know Matt, as we said, Matt saw the gap and went for it, and he made it work. Credit to him. It was a very ballsy move, but it worked in the end, so credit to Matt on that one. And now the pain in Brody's back is now a pain in his front, basically. He's now going to have to try and pass Matt Legale, and we know Matt's not going to give him an inch at all, so this could be a very juicy battle for P9. I'm just looking at the, front has spaced out a bit. They were a bit closer earlier on, but Pite is still holding from Sean Allen, but Allen is continuing their assault as he has done all race long. P3 is also P4 is quite close, although Benelli just got past Sam Smith for P4, so that's Benelli through. Next up for that is Steen, as Kevin Harris up the inside of Koshkin at the final corner, but he's on wide. He's run wide and nearly spun, and that lets Koshkin back through into P7. And I think the battle, we probably want to keep an eye on this Legale battle, because I think Steen's faster, but as we've seen before, Legale's not going to give him any relaxing at all. He's not going to make it easy. So if Steen wants this P9, he is going to have to work 120, I think, % for this one, because Legale will defend it for his life if he does his usual style.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to give anything at all. And it's going to be a fantastic battle. We're enjoying it at the moment, and of course it's going to be Rogers who gets in 11th place. Is going to close it to the back of him in a moment. Just going to have a look as well, because I thought just a moment ago Pyatt and Allen were a little bit nose to tail as well. But it's nonetheless lots of very good little battles out there so far. Harris has closed in now on Koshkin. Koshkin ran very deep going through the double apex right-hander with Druids. He's going to try and make a move. Koshkin goes to driver's right-hand side. He tries to close in on Harris. Doesn't work. He gets the grass, and oh no, contact between the two. They managed to get the grass. 2 into 1 didn't go. Don't reverse, Koshkin. There's cars on.
No.
Rogers is off as well.
Oh God.
Steen's off. Steen's gone off as well. 3 cars, 4 cars off. Coming into Lodge. What's happened there, boys? Come on.
Oh my goodness.
And now Rockets moved back up into 9th place. What on earth has happened there? Keith Harris. I have a lot of sympathy there for Mr. Harris, Kevin Harris rather, because what happened there is what I saw. They were going side by side. Koshkin moved right. He tried to squeeze Harris. Harris couldn't really do anything because his nose was just about in there. He gave him just about enough room at most. So he clips the grass. Of course, the car spins sideways, hits Koshkin. Koshkin goes sideways as well. Koshkin then reverses onto the circuit. Whilst all of this is going on, Rogers must have outbraked himself because he was going straight for the inside of the corner. He knew he wasn't going to make it. And Steen, the very, very poor victim in that, because he just got hit from absolutely nowhere. Has he got going? Yes, I believe he has. But the resulting matter of this is Koshkin in 8th, Rocket's now back up to 9th, Steen still in 10th, Stacey 11th, the Galley 12th, Rogers is 15th. So they've all got going once again, but Sean Allen, in all of this chaos, Sean Allen is into the lead of this motor race. Round 4 of the Race Department Touring Car Championship, and Sean Allen, somewhere, somehow, has made the position.
Yeah, indeed. Yes. Apologies for missing that one. There's so much going on. We had to try and figure out all those incidents there at the last corner. It looks like if he did it, it was a while back, a good lap or so. Yeah, it looks like into the left-hander actually, possibly into Foster's. He got the move done, so good move there from Alan Blue. This Pied is not done at all. He's coming straight back at the Race On Oz driver, and I think Pied has a look at the last corner, won't get anything done. Note on that last corner incident, Rogers, he did not make it, he locked the rears, that's what it was. So he's gone to put the brakes on, the rears have locked, he's tried to catch it, but of course, especially in these cars, once the rears lock, you're pretty much a passenger, and that's what happened there for Rogers, and that was a pretty spectacular sequence of events at last.
And Alan runs wide.
Yeah,
that'll
be a cut track, surely, knowing how the game operates the first corner. Look at Allen, Piet down round the outside nearly, but Allen does a very good run there through the left-hander, just cut off Piet's attempt to go around the outside.
Understeer as well there for Allen as well. This could mean he's going to lose the lead. It's a very tight battle, and as you say, it's just the way they're so aggressive in trying to attack the circuit. Allen, you say, he ran very deep, maybe the pressure got to him. And yeah, if he does that many more times, he's going to get a cut track. But never mind that, he's going to lose the lead of the motor race at this rate. Double apex right-hander with Druid. He runs very deep indeed. Piat, he's going to try and get the cutback. He looks left, he looks right. He's in the toe. What else could happen? Up towards Lodge Corner. Is he going to go for a last gap lunge? Yes, he is. Up the inside. In fact, no, he doesn't. He backs out of it. Sean Allen, nonetheless, looks like he got a bit of oversteer coming out of there. Looks like he's struggling. The movement of the car to me suggests that maybe his tyres are getting a bit warmer than he'd like.
Yeah, indeed, and look at this. Yeah, Allen, he's struggling quite visibly here at the moment. And again, look at that. Jeremy Talbot, he's not far behind, but yeah, look at this. Yeah, straight up the inside for Piet. He looks like he might actually get on this time. Oh, banging at the doors.
I was just saying that not an inch is being given, and look at the oversteer between the two.
Jeez. Oh no.
Look at it. Trying at the inside, coming into Foster's there, doesn't quite work. Piet therefore retakes the lead, so it's like nothing happened. We can just pretend he didn't get a pass in the end. Look at the battle for 5th though. 5th and 6th, Steed in 4th, 5th place for Benelli, and 6th for Smith. Smith trying to look at the inside, coming up towards Foster's as well. Everywhere you look, side by side for the race lead as well. Sean Allen at the inside, coming into Old Hull, into Druids. A little bit of contact in the first part of the right-hander. As a result, retakes the lead. The two touch, and Sean Allen once again back into the lead of the race, but he's got a good couple of car lengths on him now as well.
Oh, and yeah, you're right, there's more battles further back. Benelli's having a look at Steed as well. This is the battle for P4. Sam Smith involved in that one as well. That 3-car battle just behind Jeremy Talbot, who in all this is on his own. He's just in his own little planet right now, just going along quite nicely for him. But the top two have any issues, he's there to pick up the pieces, and he's keeping with them. He's only 3.5 seconds off the lead of this race. So keep an eye on Jeremy Talbot to be there if these two start getting really into the thick of it. But looks like Allen, looks like he's managed to stabilise a bit. It's a much cleaner run there through the left-hander. He looks a lot more comfortable now. So possibly he's just let the tyres cool off. The tyres have come a bit more under control. He's composed himself a bit after those few corners of incidents. And he looks a lot smoother now. And he's got a little bit of a gap, a couple of car lengths to Piet through the middle part of the circuit. But again, Jamie's right there, and this is by no means done. But Allen at the moment has the advantage. How is he going to go through the right-hander? Not very good. He goes wide. Oh, no!
There's contact again!
Oh, and he catches that. That is a great catch.
What a save.
Oh, what a save from Allen there. And Jamie, being the sportsman that he is there, he did not take advantage. Backs out of it, goes, you know what? My bad. There you go. Great little bit of sportsmanship there from Piet there, not being a bit dirty and trying to take advantage of that. So it's basically reset. But this battle is a great one at the front. Only 5 minutes to go, by the way. This 25 minutes has absolutely flown by in the blink of an eye. Again, that battle for P4 is stabilised a little bit. Looks like Steed just managed to settle, and he's got that P4 more or less sewn up. We'll keep an eye on this battle for the leads. I think that's the one to watch. I am watching Chris Stacey, though. He's trying to come back through a little bit. He had a little bit of an off through the left-hander a couple of laps ago. Lost a spot to Rocket, so he's trying to retake Rocket for the last spot in the top 10. Further back, everyone else is relatively spread out as we have Steve the Galley in the pits as well, changing tyres, which is interesting to see there. But yeah, this is it's all settling down a little bit now, but there's still could be a good battle at the front in this last 4 minutes.
It's going to be very interesting indeed, as you say. The battle for the race lead isn't going to be settled. 4th place is a little bit closer, but Benelli and Smith once again coming through Druids, double apex right-hander all over the grass. Never mind the curve for Benelli there. Sam Smith is trying to look to the left-hand side. There's no way to get through there. He's going to try and look to the right-hand side. There's no way to get through there either. He stays on the racing line up towards Lodge, the final corner on the circuit. Benelli can keep it. The cutback is always a good option around here though. Doesn't quite make it though, so it's 5th and 6th for the pair of them at the moment. Meanwhile, Steen is up into 8th place, so in all of the chaos, somehow he's into 8th. Rocket now in 10th, and he's got Koshkin ahead of him. He's actually thinking about a move maybe, because he's got to defend from Chris Stacey as well, so it's a 3-car battle for 9th place. Stacey trying to go around the outside line. Is he going to work? I don't think it is. Oh no, and Rocket round. Rocket's gone round, half a spin, a full spin that's at Lodge. Rejoins the circuit. What a shame there from Rocket. I don't think that was contact. He sort of lost it under his own steam effectively. Tried to get the car turned in, maybe put the power on a smidgen too early, but that's all you need to do to get the car turned round. Steve Legale rejoins the circuit down in 24th, and as a result the gap's winding up a little bit, but it's still Pyatt in 2nd. 3rd place though is Sean Allen with 3 minutes left to go. We're on lap 24, about to start lap 25. We've got lapped traffic ahead of us, and well, this could be another influence in the battle. It's non-stop here, isn't it, Thomas?
Yeah, it is. It's just been constant the whole time. So P3 is closed up. I think Talbot got a bit balked by one of the lap traffic cars, and he's now suddenly finding himself under big pressure from Michael Steed in this battle for P3. He's going to try around the outside at turn 1. Good luck doing it there. Talbot, being credit to him, he gives him the room. Oh, he's going to try, but Talbot closes the door. This battle for P3 is right in the lead. Look at this Pyatt. Oh no, Pyatt! Oh!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that was, I think,
there's contact with Smirch. He's stuck on the racing line.
No.
Smirch is stuck on the racing line. Almost makes contact with Benelli. Everyone trying to go around the outside. Just manages to do it. He got stuck. I think that's what must have happened. What a shame.
And it's Benelli is P3 all of a sudden. And Benelli is in P3 out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, Jeremy Talbot's P4. He's still having to defend from Steed out of all this. This is just bonkers racing at the end of this race. Oh, it's going to go wide.
There we go, down into 5th place. Steed, though, he can sniff 3rd place. He's going to look to the inside line, coming up towards Lodge. In fact, he backs out of it. Goes again, though. Leaves it late. He dares. Benelli going to give him just about enough room at the apex. The pair of them are. Driver's left for the red car. Driver's right for the green car. Over the line. Who's it going to be? Benelli's got the speed and the line just. The inside line though for Steed, driver's right hand side coming at Twelve Hall corner. That might not work. It's going to be close. It's very close. He just does it around the outside. In fact, no, he doesn't. He runs wide. He runs deep. He just about takes it, but Steed has got the momentum. Coming up towards Foster's though. Cascades is the next corner. Foster's is the big stop at the right hand turn. And well, he can't quite take the position. Benelli just about with a massive slide there. Manages to keep it ahead, but nonetheless, this battle for 3rd place is extraordinarily close. We've got 1 minute of this race left to go. I imagine this could be the penultimate lap. Coming up towards 3rd and 4th place, Benelli though around the outside. He's got the inside Druid. Steed though isn't going to quite do it. Benelli keeps the position, cut back. Is that going to happen? Jeremy Talbot is having a look now. He can sniff as well. You can see that this battle could be for the taking. Benelli's going to have to go to the inside line at Lodge, which is the final corner. Late lunge there from Talbot doesn't work. So, battle for 3rd still going on. 3 cars now for 3rd place. He's going to try and do it again. It's the same position as he did last lap. He's on driver's right hand side up towards Old Hall for, I believe this will be the last time. In fact, yes it is. Big lock up. He can't quite do it. But then he runs wide, and Steed back into 3rd place.
Oh, what a great battle this is. And Talbot, look at this. He's going to try and take advantage as well. Side by side through the sweeping left-hander. Oh, can he do it around the outside? Oh, no, he's gone off. He's gone off.
No!
Oh, no.
Oh, big contact. Oh, no. Talbot stopped.
Again.
And he gets hit by Sam Smith as well. They all have to stop to try and avoid him. What a shame. He almost spins in trying to rejoin again. What a shame. What a fantastic battle this has been. And what a race, Thomas, this has been for Sean Allen.
Oh yeah, Sean Allen. While this has all been going on, Sean Allen has just had a lovely clean race. While all the chaos has happened around him, he's managed to keep clear, and this is going to be another win for Race on Oz, except for this time it's not Brody Steed who runs away with this victory. It's going to be Sean Allen. He fought hard, got the pass on Pyatt earlier on, and he's going to reap the rewards here in Race 2 of the RDTCC Season 11 at Oulton Park for Round 2. It's Sean Allen who wins for Race on Oz Motorsport, with Jamie Pyatt coming home in P2 after being absolutely drilled by a lap car there in the closing stages. It's a real shame for Jamie there, as he had a real shot getting back at Sean Allen, but unfortunately, as I think he's flashing the lights there in a little bit of frustration, knowing what could have been a chance for another win there for him. Unfortunately, going by the drain with that contact the lap car. Michael Steed ends up P3 out of all that drama there at the mid-end of the 10. Tony Benelli ends up P4 with Sam Smith being one of the guys to avoid the carnage and end up P5. Very strong performance from Sam, and he showed he had the pace there in the middle and later part of the race. So great stuff from Sam Smith to get P5. Jeremy Talbot ends up P6 after the spin there at the end, and yeah, still good points for him, but he might be ruining a little bit what could have been in his race. P7 ends up being Matt Legale, who probably a little bit of a quieter race after all the carnage that was going on around him. Brody Steen does end up P8. Despite the instance earlier on, so good recovery drive from him to get some solid points. Also credit to Chris Stacey, ends up P9 after being having that issue earlier on, dropping well back. He ends up in the top 10, so good result from him. Pavel Koshkin rounds out the last top 10 position in 10th spot, with Fred Locklear from the back getting up to P11. Great result from Fred. He had to start right at the very back of the field, get up to P11, probably one of the drives of the race for me. Edward Rocket, a little bit of a topsy-turvy race for him, but he still ends up P12 regardless. Good points for him. Matt Bailey in P13 with Sean Rogers in P14. Glenn Collins ends up in P15 in the first year lap down car. So only 14 cars on the lead lap there. That just shows how much was going on in that race. Ashley Kellen ends up P16 with Andrew Scott in P17. Ollie McGowan P18 with Aidan Kieran in P19. Alex Schmertz P20 with Fabrice there in P21. Jack Trooper ends up P22 with Kevin Harris down in P23. Steve DeGale does end up classifying 2 laps down in P24. And then the 2 retirements, I believe, for this race, Ian Silver and Simon Bailey, your 2 DNFs from this second race here at Oulton Park. And yeah, that was... yeah. That was quite the race, I think, is putting it mildly there, Dan, for that one.
Oh, that's time to get on my breath back. I don't know about you. That was a interesting race anyway. I quite enjoyed the battle with Sean Allen, Jamie Pyatt. That was one of my highlights of the race. We saw as well the likes of Michael Steed did a fantastic job. Tony Burnell back up into 4th place, a good result for him. Sam Smith, an excellent result. Matt Legale, a good couple of positions for him to get some good points as well. I was saddened to see some of the contact that was going on. I know it's an inevitability in this kind of tight, close racing, but still, nonetheless, it's not good to see the some of the contact that happened, and I'm sure some of it will be investigated afterwards. But nonetheless, we can only wait and see what happens at the next meeting. And it was a fantastic racing tonight, though. I've got to give the credit for that.
Yeah, indeed, as changes, AMS conveniently crashes on me there to end the event. Thank you, AMS. Yep, AMS doing is just said. I think even AMS has just gone. You know what? I'm done. Just I'm done. I'm out. So
just chill out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm done. Yep, I'm out of here. So either way, we have a few interviews, which is good. I think we will start with Chris Stacey. I think we'll start with Chris as he's there in the waiting for interviews booth. Hopefully we're not going to catch him mid-conversation, but if so, apologies in advance to Chris. Yes, I do think yeah, everyone will bit messy. Oh, we can't, unfortunately, we can't move Chris. Yeah, so unfortunately we can't pull Chris in because he's too senior, pretty much in the RD. Yeah, but that was quite the race, have to say. As we said, a bit of a shame the contact happened, but again, reverse
Here we
grid
go.
top tens. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Got Chris in. So yeah, as I was saying there, bit of a shame with the contact, but again, reverse grid top tens always an inevitability that's going to happen, and generally with race twos, especially with any sort of reverse grid involved, whether it be top 15, whole field, top 10, whatever. There always tends to kind of be a bit more biff and barge that goes on. But we have Mr. Chris Stacey in the booth. Chris, that second race, yeah, I think that's all I need to say, don't I? Because that was quite something. Was it from your view?
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. I take full responsibility for the first collision I had with Sean Rogers. Unfortunately, I locked a front right. I couldn't avoid him, so I ran into the back of him. And then the second one, I think it was Ian Silver. I was just behind him, and I don't know what happened. They got into an incident, and I couldn't avoid them. I had nowhere to go. So, but then I was just trying to fight my way back up from there, and I'm really, really happy that I was able to finish 9th because, 2 minutes into the race, I was sitting in like 23rd or 24th or something, and I was just thinking there's no way because it's so hard to pass here. There's like, for every corner, there's only one line, so it's pretty much impossible. But yeah, really happy to finish 9th, and the first race was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, that's a good little segue. Thanks for that, Chris, for making that so smooth. Is that first race I found interesting was that we noticed a few times that you and Michael switched position. Was that you guys trying to sort of figure out who was quicker so you could catch Race on Oz, or was it a defensive move as you guys tried to hold on to a podium?
It was both, to be honest, because we was in the first race we were so similarly paced. Michael got ahead, and then we were sort of saying, okay, if we start to hold each other up, then we should switch. So eventually we did. I sort of, what was it, like 15 minutes to go or something? I can't remember. It was we were sitting in formation for a reasonably long time. I think we kind of let the two Race on Oz boys get away a bit. Yeah, so we switched eventually, and I wasn't actually able to pull away all that well because I thought I had pretty good pace. And then, so we decided to switch back just to see if Michael could do anything. And he also couldn't pull away, but we were managing to pull a gap to Jamie and Tony because we noticed they were kind of squabbling a bit between themselves. And but then Jamie caught back up, and I don't know, Michael was keen on switching. So yeah, and then we just kind of finished like that. I told him at the end of the first race, though, I told him that I'd give him, if we were in a similar position, I'd give him the position in the second race. But it never happened like that, so I took myself out of it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes with those reverse grids. But I guess to round up the interview with you, Chris, next round at Curitiba, obviously in 2 weeks' time for round 3. Looking forward to it or dreading it at your end?
Looking forward to it. I love that track. It's nice mix of corners, to be honest. It's got that massively long straight, so I think we'll see some really, really good action down the pit straight because it's just so long. I'm a bit worried about the first corner just because it's sort of it's never nice to start a first corner off with a chicane, a bit like Monza. But no, it should be okay. I think the driving standard, especially in Adelaide anyway, in the first round, the driving standard was just absolutely fantastic. So hopefully things will be all good. And yeah.
Yeah, indeed. No, yeah, hopefully it'll be another great round of racing. So yeah, again, thanks for popping into the booth, Chris.
Not a problem.
And yeah,
thank you very much for calling the race.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good fun. We love it here. And yeah, that second race, I think we both tell you that it didn't feel like half an hour. We'll say that.
It was incredible. It was just incredible racing tonight, I think, wasn't it? It's going to be an interesting meeting next time out, I believe, isn't it, Chris?
Yes. We're going to be doing all we can to stop those Race on Oz boys. They're quick pedalers.
Yeah, no, they're almost, that first race was almost Mercedes-like, wasn't it, in terms of them just walking away and then just controlling the race. It was very Rosberg, Hamilton-esque, without the inter-team fight, of course. Nudges at life, wink, wink. But yes, thanks for coming in, Chris, and yeah, look forward to seeing how you go in the next round.
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Alright, next up, I think we'll have, because I think it would be fitting to finish the, oh no, he's left. Oh, that's a shame. I was totally gonna bring in Edward Rocket, but he's rejoined the APIA. They're all having a nice little chinwag there, most of the field. In APIA, again, as I said, very close-knit community here in the Aussie community in RD, so they'll be all having a lovely little chat about the
I am going
various
to
racing. I think race
bring
2.
Sean Allen in, actually. He'll be
Yes.
interesting. Well, in fact,
Yes.
there he is in now. Welcome, Sean.
Yep, there we go. Oh,
Hopefully
Sean,
you can
you
hear
there?
us.
Hello.
Oh, there we
Yep,
go.
I'm there. I'm just listening to the stream and messed myself up a bit there.
Yeah, that's all good, all good. So I guess we'll start obviously with the just for you, how I guess both races, but we'll start with race. We'll go with the race one. Why not? We'll start in order. So race 1. How was that for you guys? Because we were watching it, and to me, it looked like it was almost, as I just said to Chris, I was saying to Chris just then, it was almost a Mercedes like dominance, wasn't it? Because you guys just got the lead early and then just controlled the race.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it. We were just cruising off the start. I went into it if basically whoever was leading the first lap between us two would sort of just stay in that position. So I never thought about overtaking Brody at all. So we just, cruised around 1, 2, and yeah, it was pretty cruisy that race. Not much to talk about.
Yeah, indeed. And then, of course, race 2. Maybe not so much. Yeah. I was going to say maybe not as much. Sorry, from your view, because you were sort of up the front there battling with the lead, so you kind of avoided most of the incidents. But you had a great battle there with Jamie for you. That I'm sure it would have been a little bit of both, wouldn't it, for you? I would assume with when he got the lap car got in the way of that fight, because up until that point you two had a great fight for lead there for most of that race.
Yeah, the start of that race, I felt like Moses. The seas were just parting for me. Everyone was crashing off and just letting me through. I felt great. But yeah, that battle with Jamie was just like, I was faster than him. I knew I was faster than him. But this track, if you're only, say, a tenth, 2/10 faster, it's so difficult to overtake without just throwing it down the inside, which I eventually did and sort of smashed into his door a bit and kept going. Luckily, he didn't go off the track with that one. But yeah. Shame about what happened with the lap traffic. Coming up to that guy, I can't even think of who it was, but I didn't even know what was going on, so I was slowing down way before the corner I went past him on. And yeah, he went off and took Jamie out, which sucked, but made my life a bit easier for the end.
Very, very true indeed. But yeah, I guess next round, same thing to ask Chris there. Curitiba, the next round, of course, in 2 weeks' time. Chris said he's very keen for it. Are you in a similar boat, or is it a track you're dreading a bit?
I sadly won't be able to make that race.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I don't even know the track, but
okay.
I've got previous plans from before the season started, so sadly I'm missing that one, which will affect my championship as well as the team's championship a little bit. Hopefully Brody can sort of get quite good points that round. Have to wait and see.
Yeah, carry the team a bit for the points, but I guess that's pretty much it for me. I can't really think of anything else to sort of ask away there. I guess one thing actually, while I'm just popped into mind, with the cars, because we noticed, and again, as I've mentioned it on the broadcast, I've only really done a little bit of running in these cars, not too much. But we noticed, in fact, most of that race too, a lot of the incidents were caused by people locking their rears and then just having all sorts of issues trying to pull it up. Is that something that, obviously being such a short wheelbase, is that a real issue? For you guys, that once that rears lock, is it a case of it's basically dead, or is there a chance to try and save a scenario like that?
If you're quick enough, and depending on which way, so if you sort of lock and rotate towards the corner, you can save it. So you basically just let go of everything, let the steering wheel go almost full lock, and you can catch it and drive through the corner. But yeah, these things are mean. If you haven't got your car set up well enough for yourself, it'll just, you go full brake, the rears will lock and you go around. A lot of issues people have as well is compression locking. They're not blipping the throttle enough when they're going down the gears. So that just accentuates it much, much more when you're going into corners. Yeah. I've rarely brake at 100%. If I brake at 100%, it's at the very start, and then you feed it off all the way into the corner. Because if you brake hard, turn, you're gone.
Yeah, that seemed to be what I was seeing there throughout, especially that second race. They had a lot of issues there with people locking their rears. But yes, thanks for coming in, the interview there, Sean. Again, congrats on the results for you.
Sure.
Great stuff for you. Yeah, and
Congratulations,
racing
Sean.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully, I guess we'll see you not for the next round, but the round after, for round 4. So again, good luck for that one, and to race on us for the rest of the season.
Yep, thanks, Matt.
No worries at all. All right, so is he gone back in again? Oh, Edward, he just popped back up to waiting for interview, and then he's popped back into the AP's room there because they're all having a bit of a chinwag. So I'll see if maybe, I'm assuming he has the stream open, so I'll wait for the delay and see if he's gonna get what the signal is here. Wink, wink, and see if he's gonna go back into the waiting for interview room, because I feel like I've been accidentally sort of shoving off a little bit there. I don't mean to. Apologies, Edward. Just been in the middle of interviews. When you popped up. So I'll give it a little bit of time. But until then, oh, there we go. Hey, there we go. All right, Joe, hopefully drag him in. And finally, we'll get to, there we go. Finally, Edward's in. We'll finally get him to have a bit of a chinwag again, Edward. So, yeah, that race for you, we saw at the start. I said at the start, when I noticed, you were completely right. You predicted it bang on. That lap 1, you had a lovely start. You went up a good, what was it, 6 or 7 spots?
Yeah,
First lap.
17th to 10th at the end of lap 1, and I found myself running 9th at some point a bit later around the race. Which was interesting because I was about a second or so a lap slower than everybody I was racing. My fastest lap was 107.4, so it was a case of, okay, I've made up all these positions, let's see how many I can not lose.
Yeah, indeed. No, it would have been a bit of an interesting scenario, although, again, as we saw in that second race, you certainly weren't the only one. There was a lot of people who gained from the early chaos in that race. But, it was still a good result in the end. You managed to still get P12, which is obviously good points for you and the team. Sort of, I guess, what's the plan for Curitiba? Are you looking forward to that one? Are you thinking you're a bit more comfortable with that track, or is it a case of the car not really working for you?
I haven't done any laps on it yet, so I have no idea how any of these braking points are going to be for me, because I know there's a few where you're going to be turning and braking at the same time, and that's where in this car it goes all wrong for me. So, I can only put in a few laps and see what it's like, but 12th was, I should have been 11th because I locked up on the final corner at the penultimate lap and lost the position, which was annoying, but it was the best I could hope for. I had one large moment, I could say, in about lap 10 or so, when there were 4 of us fighting over the same part of track, and I was the one that lost out, somehow managing to spin without getting any damage down straight or losing any positions. But
that's right. Yeah, we saw that, and we did say that was quite the save and stunt, I guess you could almost say. During the race, doing a 360.
I was a bit scared of that, but in fact, I got out. I was went around the next corner, and I thought I got a puncture or something, but I checked the damage, no damage. So I was like, screw it, let's carry on, see what happens. It was definitely more interesting, just driving around and seeing, Sean's 7 seconds behind. Next lap, he's 6.5 behind. Next lap, he's 6. He's 5.5. This is going to we're getting worrying. Oh no, there he is.
I guess actually one thing, I'll just a bit of a round off, I guess. Do you feel, because we saw this a bit in Adelaide as well, so we had the full course caution, and things kind of went a little bit more hectic in that race as well. Do you think this might be a little bit of a theme throughout the second races with that reverse grid top 10? Do you think we're going to see the second races be a bit more chaotic throughout the season, or do you think this is just sort of an early season, everyone getting used to the cars kind of deal?
I think it's more that by the time we get to race 2, everybody already, so everyone's used to how to drive the car, how to drive the track, how to overtake or defend or whatever. So everybody then knows what's going on. And if you've had a good result, you're going to try and defend it. If you had a bad result, you're going to try and go flat out to get better. So, race 2 is always going to be more chaos because everyone knows what they're doing. So they're going to be quicker, and they're just going to be more charged up. If someone's punted you off in the last race, you're going to want a bit of revenge, that kind of thing. So race 1, calm, get a position. Race 2, go nuts. That's what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
I think the first two rounds have more or less confirmed that sort of thing from the first two rounds. But yeah, thank you, Edward, for coming in the middle of the two races
problem.
also, and now, and again, hopefully we'll be seeing you up in the top 10 in the rounds to come.
Hopefully, I can stay there as well.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Hopefully. Yes, exactly. We'll certainly be rooting for you here in the commentary booth, Edward. So again, thanks for coming in. And
problem.
Good luck for the following rounds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No worries at all. All right, so I think that wraps up the interviews. Pretty sure no one else yet. They're all having a nice little discussion in there. But yes, that rounds up pretty much the broadcast for the second round of the 11th season of the Race Department Tourer Car Championship. And yeah, Dan, as we said, race as put it pretty nicely there. Race one, nice, and it was still some great battling. As we said, that Sean Rogers Talbot battle was fantastic. There was some generally just great battling throughout the field, but generally quite calm, not too bad. And then yeah, race two happened, and the gloves definitely came off very firmly and very authoritatively, I think, in that second race.
Yes, it was an interesting race. It was a little bit more contact than maybe you'd like, but this at the end of the day, you're racing touring cars, so you should expect sometimes a little bit of it, not to justify it, obviously, but still sometimes these kinds of things happen. You just got to look out for it, and at the end of the day, we had two fantastic races, and we're looking forward to yet more to come in the next couple of meetings. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm not sure what you guys are listening away are, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. No, likewise. Echo that statement. It's going to be a great 4 more rounds still to go in the 6-round championship. So we have Curitiba. It's round 3 the next round, May 20th. Then we've got June 3rd. Obviously, every 2 weeks for these rounds. It's going to be Cordoba for that 4th round. The 5th round is going to be Brands Hatch, the GP circuit, on June 17th. And then the final round of the season, round 6 on July 1st, is going to be at the legendary Bathurst circuit. That one is going to be very interesting to see how these little Aussie racing cars handle the mountain. That's going to be, I'm actually very keen for that one, to just see how that goes, because we're used to seeing V8s or the bigger sort of cars around there, but these little pocket rockets, I'm just thinking Conrod. Oh yeah, I'm expecting Conrod we're going to be seeing 3 wide in the chase. It could be interesting, especially if the rear lockup thing is something that still drives the battling, because I can see in the chase if someone locks it there and there's a pack ahead, and that could just it'd just be basically a bowling alley, and there'd just
Not
be
in
these
favour.
ARC. Yeah, it'd just be ARC Camaros just flying all over the joints. So it's going to be quite fascinating, that's for sure. So again, as I said, you got 4 great rounds still to come your way. Again, see you in 2 weeks' time, same time as tonight and round 1. Same time again in 2 weeks' time at Curitiba for the 3rd round of this championship. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We certainly have enjoyed bringing it to you. Behalf of myself, Thomas Hins, Dan Marr alongside me, and Joseph Wright, again, doing the fantastic work on the cameras, as always. We look forward to your company again in 2 weeks' time for round 3. Until then, it's bye for now.